While many NASCAR fans pin Miami as the quintessential track for the NASCAR finale, Las Vegas boasts many of the same qualities and some of the same great racing. BRB has chosen Las Vegas as the host of this season's Buttkicker 250, and it's all to crown a new champion in the Buttkicker Cup Series. So much is about to meet the sunset, and so much is about to be part of a metaphorical sunrise in BRB. I invite you all to come along for the ride. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Murtis and Zachary King, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Tonight's coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by the Buttkicker, by Ascendance Trucking, by Idealese, by Sundance Pizza, by MX Wraps, and by Whiplash Simcams. We'll get right into tonight's MXWraps.com pre-race show, and Zachary King, welcome back for the third straight week of doing this new pre-race show to cap off season number 4. We're going to not keep our guests waiting any longer, jump right into our two guests this evening. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and bring them in. We'll start off with a driver that has an announcement right out of the gate, right from the get-go. Somebody who's also looking for his very first win in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Season 4, one more chance to do it. Welcome, Carl Pooler. Can you get it done tonight?
Oh, man, if I have the track position, yes. That was just prevalent in the practice race yesterday, is if you were up front and got a little bit cleaner air, you could handle the car better, you could handle the tires better. And it's, for some reason, really, really difficult to pass, especially make a clean pass. It's so easy to get caught up in traffic and lose time. So being able to make those passes quickly and effectively is going to be key.
And of course, you are kind of top of the chase driver, or non-chase drivers. You made the chase, I do believe, back in Season 2 when we were first here with BRB, have missed it the last 2 seasons. You're looking to make a change for Season number 5 next time around, and it sounds like you have some more details for us.
Yeah, and it honestly, it kind of makes me think of fate, just the way everything happened. Limitless is officially closed down. The announcement came out Saturday during the Indianapolis 6 Hours running with Adam, and we were doing good, and the owner of the organization, Big Sin SYN, showed up and said he's had, unfortunately, due to some budgetary issues, the team's closing down. So I didn't realize this before, but I've really been with Limitless since their doors have been open. So I figured this is a good time for a change, and I'm gonna experiment and go to a different team, and that team's gonna be Maverick with Brendan Maddox, Dustin Stallings, Zachary Maddox, those guys, and it's purely for selfish reasons. I'm really competitive, for better or for worse, and you mentioned I've been around for a minute. I think I'm coming up to 70 starts in just the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, and I have a big fat goose egg in that win column, and it's been a point of contention for me, especially these last 2 seasons, missing out on the chase these last 2 seasons, trying to maybe push it a little harder. I was actually talking to the guys in the waiting room about how I've tried to adjust my driving style, try different things, and last couple seasons, last couple things I've tried haven't worked, so I think a clean slate. We are going to the ARCA car, so that's going to be a new change for me as well. New change in car, teammates, a new change of scenery and all for me for next season.
And I think Zach King has something for you as well.
Yeah, Carl, looking at your numbers, 6th is your best finish ever in the point standings coming to the final race. You're outside the chase. You're not going to be able to get that top 12 finish in the point standings. What is your goal for tonight to be able to finish 13th in the points and be able to keep yourself there and be in contention for next season?
Really, I just need to keep the nose clean. The wall on turn 4 is really dangerous. It kind of sneaks out and snags you, and it can do a lot of damage in a very little amount of time. So that's going to be an issue. Cars are going to be racing close together. I think we have a decent amount of drivers showing up tonight. So space on track's going to be interesting. Lap traffic always is interesting. We know the history with that in, I guess, the last couple of months. So it just really, like I said earlier, track position. It's going to be insane, I think. But being there at the end is where I want to be.
There you go, Carl Pooler with an announcement this evening to get the night started for us and the season ended for us as well. Carl, thank you for your time. Best of luck tonight, and hopefully we're talking to you later.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'll hopefully catch you later.
That's Carl Pooler with the Limitless Esports crew one more time this evening, Zach, and that's a pretty big announcement. I feel like heading over to Maverick Motorsports is a big deal. That's a pretty good driver that you put in the right race car, the right place. I think he can win some races next season, at least a couple. I think he can definitely surprise us and pull out a W or two. Another driver who has already gotten a W this season, and we've spoken to numerous times throughout the course of season number 4, including back at Texas, where he won his one and only win so far of the season. This is a sister track to Texas in a way. Ronnie, do you think you can go to victory lane again tonight?
Sure, hope so. It's a really tight setup tonight, and I absolutely hate them. Tight setup, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully get track position, and we'll see how we do.
And of course, this season, the latter part of the season has been a struggle for you. I think it all came to a precipice last week at Auto Club where things just could not go right. The stage kind of bit you at the back end. What do you look back on this season, though? Like, when you look back at season 4, you're 4 right here into the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. How do you look back on it? How do you reminisce on the last 17 weeks and now here in week 18?
Just so many missed opportunities. Looking back, I think I'm looking back earlier with Zach, and when I look at the schedule, there's probably about maybe 8 races I could have won, or 2 or 3 that I definitely should have won, but just basically every single ounce of luck was against me, and there's been definitely some good moments throughout the year, but yeah, it's been a long, tough season.
Coming up just a little short here in your first season as a rookie, which is very surprising, came out and shocked everybody. What are your plans to move on from this season to the next, and what can you do to carry that momentum in?
I am honestly going to be taking next season off, so I don't plan on racing the next season. I honestly just need a break from all the NASCAR leagues I'm in, and just there's too much stress going on me when these leagues are supposed to be fun. So I'm just take a short break, at least for just a season, just so my girlfriend can also defend her her title in the wives race. So yeah, but I'll definitely stick around. And we'll see after I take a season off if I come back.
There you go, Ronnie Osmer, Texas race winner from way back in race number 2. Ronnie, best of luck. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks for you, but best of luck tonight. Maybe you can get one more W here before the season's over.
Hope so. Thank you.
Ronnie Osmer caps off this season in a really solid spot in the standings, and he's actually in a battle, Zach King, for second place in the championship. I'm going to say second, because I really do think we can say that at this point. Let's go ahead and bring up the points coming into tonight. We'll look at this again with Zach Murtis at a few, but this is how things break down. With Dustin Stallings on top, Brendan Maddox in second, Ronnie Osmer trying to get back into second, but realistically, Zach King, I know you've got a couple of clinch scenarios. Realistically, Brendan, Ronnie, Zach, they're technically mathematically in it, but they're not realistically in it. And I think when the green flag drops, I think we're going to be just under the threshold of the amount of cars they need to win this title still.
Yeah, so we need a total of over 27 cars to start tonight's race, and right now we're sitting at about 24, 25. But as long as we get less than 27, Dustin should be able to clinch as soon as we take the green flag, which is very good for him. Very happy for him.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about the actual clinch scenario and everything for Dustin Stallings here in a little bit. We have a little more to go over, though, Zach, and this is a really packed pre-race show this week. Let's go ahead and get right into the next kind of segment here, the schedule for season number 5. Now, I should also mention this will also no longer be the Buttkicker Cup Series. This will now be the Sundance Pro Series, and this is a look at next season's schedule. Now, the laps are all to be determined, but this schedule was released on the Hauler Podcast last week on Thursday evening. You were a part of that podcast. This is a really jam-packed schedule. There's some extra short tracks compared to what we've had the last couple of seasons. There's a lot of really cool intermediates. I mean, right away, the run to the championship, even just the last bit of the regular season, Las Vegas, Kentucky, Darlington, and right before that, you have Chicagoland, Pocono, California, 6 intermediates in a row right at the middle of the season. That is a lot of just true speedway racing, and we'll get into the car for next season here in a second. But this is a lot of really good track selection going on.
I honestly commend the admin for the schedule. This is one of the best schedules we've had since, I'd say, season 2. Daytona and Nashville back-to-back, that's always a good thing. And then Richmond finally makes its return where it was here in season 2. And then we go to a new track at Long Beach. I feel like that's going to be the best street. We wanted a street race. We got a good one at Long Beach. And I really like the schedule from top to bottom. I think Darlington, Atlanta, that's a great way to get ready for the chase, and it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great racetracks. I think Long Beach is a highlight for sure. Richmond is a highlight. Wilkesboro has to be a highlight at November 18th. Kentucky and Darlington, a couple of really good racetracks to finish up the regular season with. Watkins Glen and Phoenix, I think, are highlights in the chase. And I think Michigan, Talladega, and Miami are all pretty run-of-the-mill at this point. They make it on most of these calendars for the BRB top series, if you will, this being the Sundance Pro Series for Season 5. That announcement was made this week, so a big thank you to Sundance Pizza for coming on board for Season number 5 and moving forward with the BRB Pro Series, now the BRB Sundance Pizza Pro Series. That's the schedule for next season. Let's talk about the race car. This is a really big point as well. The race car for next season, there it is. You heard Carl mention it, and we might have slipped up a couple of times the last couple of weeks as well, because once we found out this was kind of groundbreaking news in the series, I feel like, to be moving to the ARCA car from the NASCAR Cup car. Here's some stats on the particular cars that we're talking about. The ARCA car stats up top, the Cup car stats on bottom. Technically, Zach, while we're moving down multiple rungs of the ladder here, we're actually gaining horsepower.
Yeah, so that's been a big thing with the guys. We've always mentioned that we want more horsepower, and we're going to get it with the ARCA car. The ARCA cars are a lot more funner to drive. I feel like you can really hang out on that right rear tire and literally let the car hang. And you don't have to bottom out. You don't have to worry about bottoming out with these Cup cars like we do. And it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with this. We're going back to the H pattern. We're going 700 horses. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think the highlights definitely are that it's technically a larger motor. It's still a naturally aspirated V8 in the Cup car, or in the ARCA car rather, but more horsepower, 700 horsepower. I don't think it's going to go quite as fast in a straight line. I don't think it's technically going to be faster in the corner. I don't know. It's weird how some tracks we go to, the ARCA car is actually faster than the Cup cars. So honestly, they're pretty comparable, but you see the 4-speed H-pattern gearbox versus the 5-speed sequential. Still the same general idea that it's a steel 2-frame chassis. The ARCA car is slightly heavier, 25 pounds. I mean, that is a feather when it comes to a 3,400-pound stock car, but definitely still worth noting that it is a little bit different. And these, of course, back to 5-lug wheels, traditional 15-inch rims as opposed to being the 18-inch rims that the NASCAR Cup car now has. So definitely some big differences here between what we've had the last few seasons here in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series and what we're going to next season with the BRB Sundance Pro Series. So a lot to take in mind. We're going to have this graphic all season next season, at least use it the first few weeks to get used to that car, but this is going to be very helpful, I think, moving forward to keep in mind exactly what we're changing next season in this BRB Sundance Pro Series. That said, Zach King, we have one more thing to look over real quick. Are you ready for it?
Yes, I am.
So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the power rankings here for the final week of the season, basically. So let's go ahead and bring this graphic down. We have the power rankings here to take a look at. And I think the biggest note for you personally has to be your drivers on this list.
Yeah, Christian able to jump up after his 3rd win of the season last week at Auto Club. I'm very happy for him. I wish the number was a little bit higher, but definitely exciting to see him on the power rankings list now.
And these power rankings, I don't think much of it is a surprise. Dustin taking back over by 0.1 of a point is interesting versus what we had last week. Dustin, I think, was second or third in the power rankings. Ronnie Osborne was leading the power rankings. Of course, he had his troubles in stage 1 last week at Auto Club, so that, of course, affected these. Zach Brandvold still really close to the top. Brennan Maddox there as well. Gray Walker actually surged up a little bit. Christian Barnes, as we mentioned, moved up quite a bit. And as qualifying gets going, Dakota Bly, I think, is the other big surprise here in the top 10. He's got back-to-back top 10 finishes. He's been a lot of fun to watch recently, and Dakota could be in store for another really good finish here at Las Vegas if he's racing. He might not be. I actually don't think I see him on the driver's list. No, he's not here tonight. So he'll kind of go down with being in the top 10 in the power rankings, and that'll be the way he ends his season. Still, I think that's a really good look recently at who's been good and who's still looking for something in these last couple of, well, this last singular race. With that said, Zach King, we did do it last week. We're going to try to fit this in still tonight. The MX Wraps Best in Show contest. We can look at the paint schemes on the racetrack. Here's Brennan Maddox. What's your favorite? Have you had a chance to look around yet?
Yeah, I have to go with Adam Buzzio's Girl Dad scheme. He's welcoming a child here shortly, and it's a really fire scheme for him to be running.
So let's go ahead and bring the 5 car up. There he is. There's a paint scheme you're talking about. Yes, Adam and Julie Buzzio welcoming in Autumn Grace very soon. I think in a couple of weeks. So in this off season between here and season 4 and next season and season 5, they'll be welcoming in their daughter. I mean, that's pretty darn cool. What do you have for your second paint scheme selection?
Be Cameron Carden. I really like how the red and the yellow all mixes, and it's a pit stop TV car, so why not?
Well, there you go. I'm going to look around here in just one second. Admittedly, I have had a busy day. I haven't had a chance to really look around yet. Aside from that 23, I am going to nominate that 23 car as qualifying gets going in the background. I'll put up times on the left side of your screen so you can follow qualifying here. Brennan Maddox will be on my list, and I'll look around live here for just a second. Zach Brandvold's got a cool one. Stephen Borbell's got decent colors. Cameron Gilmore, I've always liked that paint scheme. Scott Fritz, Braden Van Wingerden. You know what? I know this is a special one to Richard. I know he's excited for what's next for his team, and he's losing Carl Pooler in a driver. So I'll go ahead and give Richard a nod here because this is a really cool looking paint scheme. And look at that, Zach. He goes to pole. That is huge.
Yeah, what a run there by Richard all the way to the line. I really do like that black and purple scheme for Limitless Esports. Their final race in the BRB Cup Series. And yeah, it's a great scheme.
Well, I appreciate your time, Zach King. I know you're about to qualify, or probably you're already qualifying. Let's watch the back end of your qualifying run as you go 13th. Best of luck.
Thank you.
So Zach King out there doing driver duties, qualifying as we speak. I will welcome in Zach Murtis now to the broadcast booth. And as you join us here, Zach, that was a packed pre-race show. Went a little bit long, but a lot to talk about as we get ready to close out Season 4 qualifying. Richard Wolsifer, Dustin Stallings, Johnny Wood Jr., all very fast. Any surprises?
I think Josh Perrin up there in the top 5. He was looking like he was going to set a pole lap. I was watching his second lap, and he ended up shutting it down off of turn number 4. I think another big surprise up there, Adam Buzzio, he is stepping up inside the top 10. And then look at how many chase drivers we have populating the top 10 right now. Only 3 spots not occupied by a chase driver, that being Stephen Borbell, Josh Perrin, and Adam Buzzio sticking their necks out the track play spoiling tonight.
And here's look at Carl Pooler. We talked to him pre-race, and he is out for his qualifying run. Now he'll begin lap number 1 here with just enough time here to get 2 laps in, I think. It's going to be razor's edge close for Carl Pooler to get both laps in, but he's on the racetrack in car number 71. We're going to take a quick look after qualifying at your points, your track map, all that good stuff. Give it just one moment. Christian Barnes, by the way, on track. He does not seem to be doing well in qualifying. 15th. That is not where he wants to start this race.
Take a look back at Carl Pooler. He's coming back to the start-finish line, a 30.2 to start off. That is a very slow lap out of Carl. That's not even going to put him inside the top 20. And then going into turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, they are pretty much hauling the mail, Andrew, or making hay, as a lot of people like to refer to it. Into 3 and 4. See the wider arc and a later apex going through turn number 4 off the corner. down onto the front straightaway, all the way down to the grass. Carl Pooler is going to go 29.85. That's going to put him barely inside. That's not even really going to put him inside the top 20. Oh my goodness.
20 seconds. So Carl Pooler, a lot of work to do as he closes out season 4 here with a bang with Limitless. That'll conclude tonight's MXWraps.com pre-race show. Let's take a look briefly at the track map here, Zach. A fantastic little track. I say little track. It is a big speedway, 1.5 miles here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, right in Sundance country as well. This is a cool place to go racing.
Absolutely. I love going to Las Vegas. It is one of the tracks that you must go to in your lifetime. It kind of came into prominence when NASCAR started their little, what's the word? I don't like saying cookie cutter tracks, because that's what a lot of people like to refer to these as cookie cutter tracks. They all look the same. Vegas, Kansas, Charlotte, Texas, Atlanta, more or less in some instances. But Vegas started out flat. They gave it banking, and now it's turned into a spectacle. And you love to gamble in Vegas. Well, they really love to gamble here. Whether it's fuel mileage or tires, you name it, they gamble it. And they've got so much action that goes into this racetrack, whether it be in the daytime or the nighttime. This race puts on a show no matter what time of the day it is.
And we looked at the point standings earlier. We'll look at them briefly here again. This is a look at how things are boiling down. Dustin Stallings, with the beginning of tonight's race at 26 cars in the field, will unofficially, I think, clinch the championship or be very close to it. So long as Brendan Maddox or Ronnie Osmer do not win stage 1, and I think it really comes down to Maddox now. I think Osmer is a little too far out. It's essentially clinched. So we shouldn't have too many clinch scenarios on our mind tonight. Math should not be too crazy. Really just a battle for second, and the battle to be the best of the rest in 13th spot, just outside the chase. So we don't have too many points to worry about. That's going to be good news. We can just focus on the race at hand. And boy, it's going to be an interesting way to cap things off here. The Buttkicker 250 about to get going. Let's take a look at the Lucky Performance starting grid. On pole, Richard Wolsifer, fastest in qualifying. Dustin Stallings will roll off from outside pole. That pole position could have done it, Zach. It could have locked up the championship. I think he's got to start the race first, though. Let's see. Third place, Johnny Wood Jr. Fourth, Stephen Borbell. Fifth will be Josh Parent. Solid qualifying run there. Ronnie Osmer in sixth. Seventh and eighth, Zachary Brandvold, Adam Buzzio, then Brendan Maddox and Jared Hughes.
Rolling outside the top 10, you've got Cameron Gilmore in that 11 car. Oh my goodness, 10 car, 11th position. Scott Fritz rolling off 12th. Right behind him in the 13th position, you'll find Braden Van Wingert and our own Zachary King in that number 51, starting in row number 7 on the outside line in 14th. 15th on the starting grid. Right behind them, you'll find Christian Barnes in that number 27. He's looking to cap off the season with one more win. And Gray Walker right to his outside. Braxton Skinner and Cole Lewis make up row number 9, and then row number 10, rolling off 19th and 20th on the starting grid tonight, you'll find Coulter Clark and Evan Patinko.
21st on back, you'll find Matthew Selby, Carl Pooler, Dan Stoccaro, Gavin Rogers in the field. I think he's just playing admin tonight. Cameron Carden and Sam Dyer. So 25 cars to take the green flag. We'll flash some Cam's race details real quick. Here we go. 165 laps, 247.5 miles, stages at the completions of 40, 80, and then 165. 6 change sets, 80% fuel. That should be about 51 laps. We've turned the music down. We'll turn the engines up. Here we go to the restart zone. The final green flag of season number 4. This is the Buttkicker 250 at Las Vegas, and we're green flag in race 18 in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. The bottom line got a great start there, Zach, sailing through 1 and 2. Josh Parent stuck his nose into third. He now looks on the inside of the champion-to-be.
It's the last race of the season, Andrew. If now was the time to make some hay, it is going to happen. We're 3 wide right behind these leaders, almost 3 wide. Gets settled back in quite nicely. That's Maddox, Osmer, Buzzio, all caught up in a hailstorm. As Borbell goes around the top line, right around Brendan Maddox. They're getting single file amongst the top 10. We've got to move down to the inside, though. That's Adam Buzzio down low on Ronnie Osmer.
And Osmer just got the wall out of turn 2, nearly gets it out of turn 4, racing side by side, first with Adam Buzzio, now with Brendan Maddox. Osmer trying to move forward, wants to close this season with a bang, of course, everybody wants to do that, but Osmer's been so good, he could get it done here, as that'll be Parent on through for third on Stallings.
Moving up the running order, Josh Parent. This is the great time, Andrew, to show what we're going to expect rolling into next season. Give these guys one final send-off in this next-gen race car and show them what they're capable of. Dustin Stallings hanging on the top side of Josh Parent now, trying to take back that third spot. He'll have it at the line. Zachary Granville just waiting in the wind, seeing where he can go, where he wants to put that race car. As a couple of them tap that outside wall, rolling into turn number 1. We're going to see a lot of guys choosing different lines here. That top line is going to be super, super powerful. We saw Stallings make use of that for that third spot, but the bottom line, too, can be super helpful as well. I think we're going to see a lot of these drivers really finding their rhythm in this first stage and making ground, seeing what they can work with, and then maybe we'll see a lot more fighting in the second stage.
And Osmer is sinking back in that number 15 car. He is back now to the 11th position, right ahead of Zach King. Both of them making their final start for now in the BRB, what is to be the BRB Sundance Pro Series. So each of those two drivers taking Season 5 away from the driver's seat, and here they are racing. Now, and you know what? I found out earlier today, even Braden Van Wingerden and Cameron Gilmore will be part-time at best next season here in BRB. That is big news, as Cameron Gilmore, I think, just got into Scott Fritz. He goes backwards now behind Brendan Maddox, the 23 car moving back forward.
Maddox is in a position, he is the closest driver eligible to take that championship out of Dustin Stallings' hands. Now, the lockup scenario is quite simple. All Stallings has to do is score one singular point in stage number 1, and he will be crowned your champion this season. Mathematically speaking, pending any disqualifications, obviously, he will be decided as champion. Maddox has to find a way to stay in this fight. If Brendan Maddox, and this is the tall order, Andrew, the very tall order, can win the stage, win both stages, get the bonus points he needs, and potentially have Dustin Stallings finish way down the running order, he could potentially win the championship. But based on the car count tonight, and based on the running order at the moment, with Stallings chasing down the race leader, Richard Wolfs, for all across the wall, that was Adam Buzzio and Stephen Borbell. Fenders are flying across the racetrack, and Borbell's got that right front disconnected off that race car.
Yeah, Borbell's in a lot of trouble here. This is going to be, I think, an early exit for him. He's in the wall in turn 1, and the Performance Food Service number 2 Ford Mustang Dark Horse has officially received the black flag by race control. He will have to head down to pit lane and take repairs. That is going to be a sour ending to the season for driver number 2. A season where he couldn't be in the driver's seat all season long like he wanted to be, like he has been in the past. Let's see what happened to him. He was racing with Josh Parent into turn 1 here, but the incident is off of turn 4. Let's see what happens. So Borbell kind of on his own here at this point into turn 3. Off the 4th corner here. Buzzio right to his back bumper. Borbell just gets loose. Oh my goodness.
That's a heavy, heavy hit. Heavy, heavy hit for that 2 car. And that could have very easily taken out drivers like Adam Buzzio, Josh Parent, even the guys behind them. They were scattering all over the place. This is on board with Adam Buzzio. You see Parent up the road, the rest of the top 5 as well, and there's the big snap.
He's got some right front damage out of that. Nothing he can't fix on the pit lane during a caution flag, but definitely not what he wants at this point in the race. Of course, trying to end the season on a high note and become a new dad here very soon. I mean, that's just not what you want for the 5 car. But he's got a little bit of time to get back up on the saddle. He's racing now around his other teammate, Jared Hughes, and it seems like that damage is starting to impact him already, Zach. Outside of the top 10, he was about 5th when that happened.
Yeah, he has called out over the driver radio that he's reporting a lot of damage, and he doesn't want to necessarily hold anybody up, but he is going to go out there and try to race because, Andrew, while a lot of these guys may be out here for some part-time points, the team standings are very much on the line. Maverick Motorsports and Limitless Esports are separated by 21 points. Accelerate Motorsports is back by about 40 points from Maverick, and then Southern Excitement is 42 points. So that top 4 is all kind of within reach of each other on potentially locking up a championship season for a team championship when it comes to any of those top 4 drivers. We've got 2 Next Level Motorsport cars, Jared Hughes and Adam Buzzio. They could be out there running for some points. Brendan Maddox is out there for Maverick Motorsports, as well as Dustin Stallings. They could potentially walk away with a pretty good team championship. They could walk away with a driver and team championship, realistically.
Yeah, I'll say Maverick Motorsports is the place to be right now. So Carl Pooler moving over there, I think he's going to, I think the biggest thing, Zach, because these are fixed setup races, it's not like he's getting some secret sauce or anything. I think realistically for Carl Pooler, it's going to be the camaraderie and the team building and the coaching, right? And anywhere he's struggling next season, he'll be able to lean on the best drivers in the series right now for a little bit of help. So you got Dustin Stallings out here, he's running 4th, could probably be 3rd, about to win the championship. Carl now gets to rely on him. Gets to rely on Dustin, on Brendan, 2 of the hottest drivers in the series. I know Brendan doesn't have any wins this season, but he's been winning races the last couple of seasons. He's been good on the intermediates, a lot of fun to watch. I mean, he gets to rely on these guys now for a little bit more help, a little more expertise. I say that as Carl's current teammates are running 1st and 2nd, but he's going to be able to rely on the best team right now in the series moving forward. Maddox working here on Scott Fritz. Ronnie Osmer has jumped up to 5th, and 5 chase drivers lead this race. 6 of the best, I'd say, certainly in the top 10. Throw in Brendan Maddox in that mix. Definitely, I think those have been some of the best chase drivers this season. I think that is easy to say for Johnny, for Zach, for Dustin, for Ronnie, and for Brendan. I think the outlier there actually has to be Richard Wolsifer. He's had a lot of great speed in qualifying, Zach, but when the race gets going, he's had such bad luck. It's been hard to see what he's really made of as far as getting a result.
Don't talk about Richard Wolsifer's bad luck right now.
I know.
Don't even say anything. The last time this man sat on the pole, he wrecked lap 1. Okay? So we're not going to bring this up right now.
Well, he's leading here now, 16 laps led at Las Vegas Motor Speedway since the drop of the green flag. I know. I'm the chaos bringer, all that good stuff. But Richard is also in that vote for Best in Show. Doesn't have any votes yet in the vote. I can't believe it. Has no votes so far in the poll over on YouTube. You can vote for your favorite paint scheme on the racetrack between those 4 for the MX Wraps Best in Show contest. Let's take a look at them. You have Richard Wolsifer here in the number 56. You have through all of stage 1 to vote. So if you're watching over on YouTube, even if you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, get over to YouTube. I know you've got a smart device. You can do it. You can get over, pop open the poll, and leave us your opinion. So Richard is in it. We've also got Adam Buzzio in the 5 car. He's a part of it as he's getting passed up here by Zachary King. That's interesting. You've also, here comes Josh Parent there as well. That's a great looking 5 car. You also got the 23 of Brendan Maddox in that pole. This is just a really cool chrome, reflective, and gold paint scheme, kind of honoring Dustin Stallings' championship campaign. And you've also got the 21 for Cameron Carden in that Best in Show vote. So go ahead over on YouTube, leave us your opinions in the chat, make your vote known in the poll for the MX Wraps Best in Show contest this week, as Evan Patinko's got a problem. Oh dear. That is not what we mean when we say down low Patinko.
And
Caution is
out.
out.
Our first caution.
He's still trying to get that ship righted. Of course, Evan heading over to Whiplash Racing next season from Redacted Motorsports.
Speaking of Redacted, I could have sworn I misheard you there for a moment.
What's that?
Well, you said trying to get that ship righted. I'm pretty sure that I heard something else.
Oh, no. Not here. But, oh, man. Evan just got loose on the inside. It looked to me, Zach, like he might have just caught the apron down low.
It's possible. Might have had the air sucked off his nose. Well, not sucked off his nose.
He was right behind Gray Walker. Watch this, down into the corner. This is going to put uneven air balance on the car. That's going to get you loose.
Right there.
That's a lot of air on the left side of the car and taking it off of the right side. These cars are already very nimble and very timid in the air, so that's That's just uneven aero balance left to right, and that's going to get you loose most every time, especially here over the bumps through 1 and 2 on the bottom side of the racetrack. If you haven't run here on the sim or real life before, the bottom side of the racetrack is super bumpy. The top is a little more smooth, at least down in 1 and 2. Watch this here. You can see the bumps. You can see the car jostling around down here. Really bumpy on the inside of 1 and 2.
Yeah, usually it's a rule of thumb at certain tracks that have bumps like that, because it's not uncommon to find bumps in either center or exit. Like at Texas Motor Speedway, there's a bump in the middle of 3 and 4. Big rule of thumb, don't really lay into the throttle until you pass that bump. Kind of the same thing here at Vegas. We see pit stops happening in the background. Lots of drivers coming off the pit lane at the moment. We're seeing a lot of battles throughout the field. You know, Andrew, while we have the camera on him, or while we did have the camera on him, I wanted to talk about Sam Dyer for a moment, but, you know, this guy has been so consistent. He has defied all of the strategies. He has made his way into the chase as an underdog. He's sitting 9th in the points out of the 12 chasers, and everyone around him has double-digit bonus points, and he's got 3 bonus points. And he could also potentially take more spots away coming out of here tonight. Mathematically speaking, he could walk out of here with a 7th place points finish. That's insane to me. He has done everything right, and even though he's done it all right, you have talked about it verbatim, Andrew, maximize stage points. He's done none of that. Absolutely none of that.
Yeah, I would say he's done everything the wrong way. To get into the chase, to stay in the chase, he's done everything backwards. He has played dead, I feel like, on the restarts is a good way to say it. He just kind of lays back. I mean, even at Miami earlier this season, we saw multiple times on restarts, he would lay back, let everybody pass him, and then go racing and just mind his P's and Q's in the back, but stay alive. And that's been his game plan all season long. So I would say he's done everything the wrong way and still ended up in this situation where he could be top half, or almost top half, top of the bottom half, if you will, in the chase points. Here we go. We're going to go racing once again. Back end of stage number 1. A lot of cars pitted. Most of them, Zach, for 2 tires and fuel. And we see that for Wolfsfer, for Johnny Wood, for Dustin Stallings, for Zach Brandvold, Brennan Maddox, Cameron Gilmore, Braden Van Wingerden, Gray Walker, all 2 tires, or at least certainly not 4. I think Gray Walker might have even been fuel only with a 7.5 second stop. That is awfully close to being no tires. But regardless, we also have 3 cars out front staying out. Those are Carl Pooler, Braxton Skinner, and Cameron Carden. Let's see how this restart goes. First restart of the night in the restart zone here at Las Vegas. Coming back green in the Buttkicker 250. We're racing once again in Sin City. Down the backstretch, couple of cars in the outside wall, but 2-3 wide through the balance of the field. We stay racing. Turn 3, turn 4. 1 car loose. That's Johnny Wood in the wall.
Some hard contact right there for the 75 car. He's going to drop way far back. Look at that right front, though, Andrew. That is some major aero damage. May even have some wheel damage, but it looks like he's going to keep on rolling.
And that was off of our champion to be, I'm pretty sure, Dustin Stallings. Let's go back and see. I'm pretty sure Johnny got loose into Dustin here. Watch from the tower view here. That was Dustin getting in the wall to the back, so trying to get to the outside of Johnny Wood Jr. Then here we go into turn 3. Dustin backs off, and immediately Johnny gets loose. I think there was some aerodynamics at play there. I think there was some aero stuff happening. All this, and we've got a lead change. Richard Wolsever powers by his teammate. Braden Van Wingerden in trouble. Big accident here in turn 2.
That's a heavy hit. I heard a motor blow out of the corner as well.
And Sam Dyer has parked it 2 laps ago, Zach. We were just talking about him.
Oh, no.
Here's Sam Dyer's issue. This is before the restart. Did something happen coming to the green? We'll take a look at this and then see what happened to Braden Van Wingerden in what will be his final full-time start in the BRB Cup Series for now. This is taking a long time to get to the restart. I didn't think it would take this long, but Sam Dyer. What happens here? There's a stack up on the bottom. Buzzio's to his inside. Here we go. Restart zone. Watch the red and white card top of your screen. That has to be connection. And then for Braden Van Wingerden, there you go. Just got loose. Oh, not into Zach King. And Dustin Stallings.
And it looks like, hearing from race control at least, that the penalty is going to fall on the one car. He's going to have to take a drive-through penalty, but I don't know, Andrew. I don't think he's going to be able to serve that penalty. I think that's going to have to roll over into next season.
Well, I did see some conversation this week that penalties won't be rolling over between seasons, so I think Braden's okay. But yeah, that is entirely just him getting loose there on the outside of the racetrack. We'll go back and get a look at it here. Into turns 1 and 2 on the outside of Cameron Carden. You see Zach King there in the 51 car, the blue car right behind. Braden's just going to get loose on the outside. He just charged the corner really hard and got loose. Zach King had nowhere to go. And Stallings got a piece.
He got a tad of that. It's going to affect him maybe a tad. It's going to affect him a little bit should he have even the slightest bit of damage. But call it lucky performance, lucky break of the day nomination for Dustin Stallings. Might as well see how close this gets. If there even was any contact. Oh my goodness, I'm getting tongue-tied. Oh, there was definitely contact.
Yeah, that on... Oh, he's got some big contact, actually. It looks like the right front is pointed the wrong way here. Oh, dear.
Oh.
This... I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. But Brendan and Ronnie, if they needed anything to happen, it would be damage for Dustin here early. He is on the pit lane taking repairs. Johnny Wood there as well. Here comes the field to put them a lap behind. Johnny's going to pull out. I don't think Dustin's going to. Yeah, he's going to stay here.
This is huge. This could be big for Brendan Maddox. This could open the championship wide open. Well, I say you could open it wide open, but we don't even know what's going to happen. If Stallings scores
that was Borbell's motor.
Points, oh my. Stallings scores any sort of stage points, he still mathematically locks it up. I would have to confirm with our trends and topics of the BRB series, Mr. Zach King. Can't do that when he's sitting inside of a race car right now. You can see him towards the back of your screen after that contact. Looks like that car is clean, ready to roll. We're going to go back green here, Andrew, and the front of the field shaken up. Wolsifer still leading, Maddox on that outside line. Then it's Carl Pooler, Cameron Gilmore. You see Zach Brandvold, and then Ronnie Osmer, Braxton Skinner, Scott Fritz, Gray Walker, and then falling right behind Fritz in that top 10 is going to be Jared Hughes. Looks like we're ready to roll.
We'll come back around to the restart zone. I believe Stallings has it clinched. We'll keep you as abreast of the situation as we can as the night goes on. It should be wrapped up, but you never know. Here we go. 12 laps to go in stage number 1. Richard Wolsifer, Brendan Maddox, your front row. 2 tires on the front row. Green flag back out here at Las Vegas. And down the backstretch we go. Wolsifer and Pooler now lead. Johnny Wood, of course, had his issues on that last short run. He sits back in 20th. Otherwise, Limitless has been truly limitless tonight. They've been fantastic. I mean, Richard's led the most laps so far. Carl's led a few. Johnny was up here. They are looking like they're in prime form right now.
And Johnny Wood Jr. was running up in the second spot. Obviously, he's had a few run-ins that has kept him from being at the front of the field at the moment, currently 19th. But still seeing him chase down some greatness at the end of this season. We're 3 wide in turn number 3. We're 4 wide. Skinner gets tapped by Selby. He's up the racetrack. That's going to hold up Jared Hughes. Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
And Carl Puller's headed the wrong direction now. Passed up by Maddox, passed up by Osmer, by Brandvold. Osmer goes fastest that lap. He's trying to clear the 55 car, will do so now down the back straightaway. Gray Walker there in the background getting clear of a couple of cars. Racing now with Scott Fritz into turn number 3. Here they go, side by side. Whiplash Sim Cams 18 on the outside, and Gray won't get there.
3 wide, front straightaway still. This is looking tense, and we're only 32 laps in. Still down to the inside. Coulter Clark trying to make some hay. Josh Parent sneaking into the win. He's looking to run the middle. Now he goes down to the bottom to push Clark past Selby. Cameron Gilmore trying to stay ahead of this. Christian Barnes rolling that top line. He's going to clear Matt Selby, so they're going to be 2 wide now. Evan Patinko waiting in the win scene if he can't make something happen.
A lot going on here at the back end of the top 10. Clark trying to move ahead of Barnes. Walker falls back. Josh Parent's here. Matthew Selby is here. A lot of different drivers are present. Let's see if they can get into the top 10 for stage points. Reminder, that stage ends at the completion of lap 40. Coulter Clark bullies his way in front of Matthew Selby. Selby gets him loose here at 3 and 4. That's right on the bumper of Josh Parent. He wants to go by this. He's going to turn Selby. There goes Clark. Oh.
Race Control is going to have a headache with this one.
There's Clark, there's Selby, and Parent had a big piece of all of that.
Personally, looks like Josh Parent's going to be the one that gets away the cleanest out of this one. Maybe Matthew Selby as well.
From Parent's front bumper here, or well, from his roof cam, you see Selby packs a bunch of air on the diffuser there of Coulter Clark. They were okay here, though, and then Parent just, he caught the left rear.
And then you see Evan Patinko pile in right there as well.
And Cameron Harden. We'll get another view here. Watch Selby in that 46. He's going to drive in, and he put a lot of pressure on Clark. I can't tell if he got into Clark or if Clark got loose on his own. And that's what happens on corner exit.
Selby spins it through the grass, points it straight, everyone trying to miss him. Parks it in the middle on the front straightaway. There you see Coulter Clark in the background, so Selby with some right front damage. Like I said, it looks like Parent's going to be the one that gets away the cleanest. Now, you're going to have drivers trying to spin this 2 different ways. You're going to have Clark and Selby, who were up on each other's noses, getting aggressive with each other. And you're going to have Parent saying that they were kind of playing games and he just got caught up in it. But you're going to have Clark and Selby saying, well, we're just out here trying to race, and he just piled in there. And then you see Evan Patinko get a slight piece of that after Parent got it, try to get it point straight. Johnny Wood Jr. making sure that he doesn't get into the mix as well. You're going to have 2 sides to a story, and Race Control is going to have to make the decision on that one.
That's what we're going to look at. So the Clark and Selby thing, it straightens out. Clark catches the race car. And I hate to be critical of our own guy there, Zach, but Parent comes off the corner and tracks out into Selby. That hooks the 54 of Clark, and Zach King, we'll take a look at that in a second. King just barely gets by. Patinko gets a piece. Carden gets a piece. That's 3. The 3 confirmed drivers for the same team next year, or next season. They're all 3 wide in part of the accident there. But I gotta get a look back.
Flagged.
Yeah, hey, let's get a look back, though, at what happened for Zach King, because this is really, really close.
Racing with Evan Patinko side by side. Cameron Carden right there. 3 Whiplash drivers, or soon-to-be Whiplash driver Evan Patinko.
Watch this.
Oh, man,
He was very nearly a big part of that accident there on the front straightaway. That was so close for Zach King. Let's see if we can get one more look at it. This will be overhead. He's right alongside of Evan Patinko. Patinko checks up. Carden checks up. King just gets by on the outside. I mean, that is as close as it gets. That is a lucky performance, lucky break of the day.
That was close.
And pit stops now underway. A lot of cars receiving repairs. Here's one of them. Stallings just got back on the lead lap, and he's going to go back a lap down, still trying to repair that 0-0. Sam Dyer, by the way, back in the pit lane here, just went 4 laps down, but he is back in the session. There he goes. So his internet did fail him there for a moment, but he's back in.
And it looks like it was being talked about quite a bit. It was being talked about quite a bit, but this is not going to be the stage. They're going to get back going. They're going to be able to restart this race so we can have a stage finish. You're looking at quite a bit of a shakeup at the moment with Wolsifer still leading. Now Osmer up to second. Maddox has moved back to third. Branville, Gilmore, Barnes, Walker, King. I mean, that's your top 8 at the moment. This is shaking up to be one heck of a stage finish.
Josh Parent will restart in the top 10, but will have to serve a penalty off the green flag here for causing that last incident. That should promote either Carl Pooler or Jared Hughes up. Pooler's on tires. He just got 4. Watch out for the 71 car here on this restart. Mixing some words, but here we go into the restart zone. Let's end stage 1 on a high note. Restart zone there. Green flag back in the air here in Las Vegas. Wolsifer with the whole shot. Three laps to go. Stage number 1. Wolsifer, Maddox, Osmer down the backstretch. Here we go.
Maddox, big move to the inside.
Oh,
he gets into Wolsifer,
boy.
up the racetrack into Ronnie Osmer. Osmer goes spinning.
Big crash. That's going to be the end of stage 1. And that is going to be controversial at best.
What did I tell you, Andrew? What did I tell you?
And I think we may have a first-time stage winner because I'm pretty sure this guy's going to the back. Cameron Gilmore will be second here. And I do believe... I mean, we'll get a look back and we'll see what race control says, Zach, but I'm going to guess that Maddox is headed backwards.
I think that'd be a pretty good guess.
Yeah, let's watch this here. He has a big run out of turn 2. Big time closing right here to turn 3. Let's slow this down. Just dives. That is just a low percentage move. And I would guess that he would like to have that one back, because I don't think he's going to keep the stage win here. And let's see what happens to Wolsifer and to Osmer in all of this. As pit lane has opened up, and I'd imagine, Zach, they're probably saying that's all under review.
Race control has asked drivers to clear the chatter to make sure... Oh, hold on.
Well, there you see the crash as it played out. Osmer on the top of the racetrack in the wall. Wolsifer nearly saved it and kept going. Then he got hit and kind of put back into it.
This is going to be an interesting call, but race control has determined net code.
Wow.
Brendan Maddox looks like he will keep the stage. No EOL penalties have been issued. No black flags. 23 stage win.
And that keeps Cameron Gilmore from getting a stage win this season. So far, anyways. He can still get stage 2. Let's see what happened here to Osmer. Watch the 15 and all of this. We've seen now what's happened to Wolsifer. Here's Osmer just trying to get by it. Ends up squeezed into it. Spins around. Honestly, Zach, I think he'll be okay, but it's going to be a stain on what was otherwise a successful first stage. And actually, look at that left rear. No drive for car 15. He's already 2 laps down. That'll be his season.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Oh my goodness.
Well,
no stage points for Ronnie Osmer. That's a kicker.
Let's go ahead and dial up our stage 1 winner as it stands then for a brief word. This will also be the new team owner for Carl Pooler here. I'm trying to pull Brendan Maddox. It's not working for me. Give me one moment. Let's bring him down here this way. And why? Okay. And let's grab what will be our stage 1 winner here. Brendan Maddox, what happened down there in turn 3?
To be honest, it looked like netcode from my end. I have the broadcast up, and it looked a little bit like netcode from there too. But at the end of the day, I faked high to get Richard to go high, and then I shot low. Knowing Richard, we raced respectfully, but I knew it was going to be close either way. So I guess both him and Ronnie are done as a result of that. I just saw them disconnect from the sims. That's super, super unfortunate for them. But I took 2 tires, saw that I had a big run, knew we were coming to the end of the stage, and just thought, you know, I got to get to his bumper. I got to get to his left side into the corner, because that's going to be the only chance I can have at a stage win. And unfortunately, there was some sort of contact there. Whether it was netcode or not, there was contact. So
Well, it sounds like a race car driver saw a gap. We'll let you get back to it. Best of luck.
thank you.
Sounds like Maddox saw a gap, went for it. That's what happened there to complete stage 1. Here we go now. Stage number 2 underway. Let's go racing. Scott Fritz, Braxton Skinner, Carl Pooler, your top 3 down the back straightaway here at Las Vegas, and they are jostling all over.
Right now, trying to find some racing room as Johnny Wood Jr. sticks that car up onto the top line, trying to see if he can't make it 3 wide. Stays behind Carl Pooler, stays side by side with Matthew Selby. And they're going to race it out amongst the front field of drivers. Look at Gilmore. He's running that middle line, pushing Maddox up a tad. Johnny Wood Jr. slides up, might get single file here. Oh, man, Pooler tapped the wall, and he's still staying in it with Skinner on his inside.
A lot of cars got the outside wall. They're out of turn 2. Can also confirm that today's Best in Show paint scheme of the race, brought to you by MX Wraps, will be the number 5. Adam Buzzio, caution in the back. Joshua Parrott around. Boy, we have gotten zero rest. From the pre-race show all the way through stage 1, this has been nothing but green flag, yellow flag, green flag, yellow flag. And I say that sounds bad. We have had green flag racing. There has just been no time to rest in between. It's been constant action from the get-go.
Looks like Parrott was trying to get to pit road to serve his black flag from the incident with Selby and Coulter Clark. So you see he is down here on the white line, and he is slowing, and Stockero runs right into the back of him, sends him way too fast, and he just slides it, locks the brakes down, just barely taps onto the racing surface, and that's what's going to bring out the caution.
You know what, though? The rest of the field is going to hate it because it's another caution, but it's heads up for Josh's race in this incident to spin the car back to the right, get the yellow out of it, and not end up getting another penalty from iRacing for being too fast in the pit lane.
I think the big kicker here, Stockero's going to end up getting the black flag per race control, but Joshua Parrott's been trying to serve this black flag for 2 cautions now. That's such a kicker right there. I mean, could you even say that's racing? That's a bad end of the stick at that point.
We've seen it before, and I think we'll see it again at some point. I don't think that's the last time that kind of thing is going to happen. Here's Stockero's angle. So a little bit late to react maybe to the 90 car checking up and trying to get to pit lane. And of course, we can't see on the broadcast exactly if there was voice chat or text chat going on, but we do see that the 90 was trying to check up and hit pit lane there for a good moment. And it all just came to a head, as they say, but Josh should have a chance now under the next restart to serve that penalty. And Zach, I know it's not going to be an ideal thing for him to do it from the back of the field, but if he is at the back of the field here for the restart, it'll at least be easier to serve it. In a sense, from what race control is saying, he is still going to have to serve it. Even though Stockero was at fault for the incident, race control noted that Josh did call out that he was going to be pitting.
It's just, he got the penalty. He still has to serve it. He's going to have to go and take care of it. Someone else who's trying to take care of their stuff is Dustin Stallings. He's still in the pit lane. Or, no, he came back to the pit lane again.
Yeah, he's keeping himself alive, keeping himself on the lead lap as best as he can, but is back on the pit lane here, and has been now for about 45 seconds. He is on the lead lap for now. Coulter Clark is as well, but here comes the pace car. I just heard the 54 fire up. Stallings should be soon. And Sam Dyer has made his way back to 3 laps down. 4 cars currently off the racetrack. Those are Wolsifer in 22nd, Osmer in 23rd, Van Wingert in 24th, Borbell in 25th, and will Stallings fire up here, or will he go back a lap down? He will go back a lap down for those repairs. Well, this has been a chaotic way to get the final race of the season started here tonight, but with all of that, let's give a big thank you to every partner here of the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series in season number 4. And this list is about to get larger in season 5. But for now, a big thank you goes out to the Buttkicker, to Ascendance Trucks, to Idealies, to Sundance Pizza, to Performance Food Group, and to mxwraps.com. A big thank you as well to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. Oh boy, this has been action-packed here at Las Vegas. I know they call Richmond the action track, but tonight Las Vegas is giving it a run for its money. Now this has been just crazy since even before the green flag here tonight. We're going to give it one more go here in Stage 2. We're just 7 laps into Stage 2. A long ways to go to the completion of lap number 80. Scott Fritz will lead us back to the green. Carl Puller, Braxton Skinner, Johnny Wood Jr., Cameron Gilmore, your top 5. Green flag is back out here at Las Vegas. Down the backstretch, cars fanning out. Skinner going backwards. He's dropped back to 5th. Here comes Carl Puller for the race lead.
Yeah, to the inside. Cameron Gilmore's going to take that spot over Braxton Skinner. Not going to get fully clear. Now gets clear off corner number 4. They're going to get single file throughout the top 10. All the way back to about Skinner in that 5th spot. Gets a little shove. Brendan Maddox sliding underneath that 33 car. They're going to make some contact. Selby's in the mix. He's spinning. Cameron Cargan gets involved.
Oh.
Big hit for Matthew Selby on the inside wall. And that is a heavy hit for the 46 car. Lucky break for Josh Parent. I'll say he was in the pit lane to serve his black flag. Brendan Maddox, probably a lucky break for him too. He's just getting cleared by that.
Well, let's see. So how does this get started? Skinner got loose. Then Selby followed him up towards the wall. And that is all she wrote for the 46 car. He has already taken that car out of the iRacing.com session and called it a day. And a season, for that matter. Looks like they might have banged doors there on the front stretch, Maddox and Selby. And then right there actually, you see the 33 get loose for a moment, then up the racetrack and got the wall. Selby into the back bumper. That one,
Selby caught
that one's probably easiest to call a racing incident.
Yeah, Selby caught the safer barrier there, and it just spun him right around. I mean, looking at it from the top-down perspective, they're hard racing right here. Maddox is trying to make sure that he can get every single point he can. You see Skinner kind of just gets loose already through the center of the corner. It kind of looked like he was hesitating, in my opinion. Like, Skinner wanted to go to the bottom. He saw Maddox there and gave up that lane instead to allow the 23 car to try and make that line work for him, not try to be super aggressive. I don't know. It's so difficult to call something like that.
And here's Cameron Carden. He gets a little piece of this in the KC Athletics, number 21. Just a piece. That's nothing too crazy. A little bit of front end damage, but nothing that can't be fixed in the pit lane, I'd say. And you'll now see Cameron Carden in the pit lane taking repairs along with a handful of cars. Dan Stockero's down here, just a couple of spots up in the pit lane. Coulter Clark is down here receiving repairs. Of course, he was involved in that incident a couple of cautions ago. And Dustin Stallings getting back on the lead lap here in car 00. So he'll be back on the lead lap, and I would guess we'll head back down the pit lane for more repairs in just a moment. Stockero's rolling. Clark and Carden are stationary. And Sam Dyer, still 3 laps down, does not receive the lucky dog this caution, and that'll go to Dustin Stallings.
I don't even know how to describe what is starting to happen here in this race, Andrew. 6 cautions for 15 laps. We've had 4 lead changes, and lead changes are counted at the line too. So there are more than likely more lead changes going on throughout the field. But we've just seen so much chaos so far. You know, I know Vegas brings out the risky moves, but the risks are not paying off. We are pulling the lever on the gambling machines, and we are not getting cherries, that's for certain.
No cherries, no 777s. No, it has not been a night that we wanted to see just yet. But there's still time for this race to turn around, and I think it will here at Las Vegas. I've seen a lot of races play out this way here where it's really chaotic early, and then suddenly it's like the racing gods above just snap their fingers and everything calms down. We get into a rhythm, and this race could go green, aside from the end of stage 2 here, very soon. I've seen it happen before. I think we'll see it happen again at some point. Is that possibly tonight? Who knows? But here we're going back around to the restart zone. Scott Fritz in control. He'll lead us up to the restart here on lap 52. Coming to lap 53. Waiting on the signal from Frith. Let's watch this restart from the drones. Green flag here again in Las Vegas. Side by side for second, Cameron Gilmore, Carl Pooler.
Garrett Hughes was about sleeping on the restart. Zach King tried to pop it up to the top. He smacked the wall back there. We're still rolling. Johnny Wood Jr. is making some ground up on that top line. He gets a big run.
No, Jared Hughes!
Jared Hughes is going around in the middle of the pack. Buzzio taps the wall.
Down across the nose of Cameron Carden. This is not at all.
Buzzio can't steer the car, Andrew. He cannot turn it.
He's getting a turn now. It's taking a lot. This is not what anybody wanted to see here tonight.
That is another chase driver involved in an incident here tonight.
Yeah, there's Hughes. A lot of left front damage there as well. This is now 3 of 4. Or it's 3 of 3 that entered the race for Next Level Motorsports that have had a problem. All 3 of them. From Borbell to Buzzio, now to Hughes. And that's a lot of damage he's just going to tow. Buzzio looks like might as well. He's down low. Let's take a look back. It's a little bit further back. It is back to the restart. Watch the 98, a couple of rows up. You mentioned King trying to go to the outside. There's King in the 51 on the right side of your screen. Here he comes on the outside. Right, oh, King got the wall. Now, what happens to Jared Hughes in 3 and 4?
Just loose on his own is what it looked like.
This will also cap off his BRB career for now, and then there's a tap from Brandvold. Oh my goodness.
And then Buzzio just ends up getting a ton of damage. You saw him peel off on the left side of your screen.
I want to touch on Jared Hughes. It was announced, I do believe today, it was either yesterday or today, that Jared will be taking at least a one-season hiatus, if not indefinitely, taking a new job. As I'll diagnose the crash again in here in a second, but Jared will be taking a new job, going through some life changes, and will no longer be able to race here on Tuesday nights. So this is his final start in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series to become the BRB Sundance Pro Series. He will not be racing next season. Next Level now looking for their new number 3. Really number 1, I'd say, since Adam and Steven have had to miss a lot of this season. I would say they're looking for their new number 1. That is not the way they wanted the season to end for the 98 car. Now, as far as what happens here, I'm going to slow it down right here and watch the 55 come up into the 98. This is normal. The 55 is tracking out right here. You see the 98 pitch. It's like they made contact, but they weren't touching. That's what we call netcode, Zach. There was definitely some off the corner there, and hopefully Rev had enough time to slow it down. I'm going to back it up. Let's back it up here. And let's slow it down once again, and I'll show you what I mean again. Watch the 98 just suddenly shift, even though the 55 hasn't gotten there right here. That's netcode. And Buzzio just nowhere to go.
Buzzio just a heavy hit. He's already taken that car behind the wall. He's done for the night. You gotta feel for him. The girl dad paint scheme. The last race that Adam Buzzio is running, to what he has told us all, the last race that he's running as a, well, as a...
Without being a parent yet.
Not being a parent, that's what I was trying to look for. I was trying to think of a way to say it, but I couldn't think of a way to say it. But him and his wife will be bringing new life into this world, and I'm sure he's excited about that, but I'm sure he's not too happy about how his race ended. However, Andrew, we've got a race to get restarted. They're coming up off of turn number 4. Pace car is going to make that hard left turn onto the pit lane, and we are only halfway through stage 2. We've got plenty of racing left to run. Green flag back in the air through the restart zone. We're back racing in Sin City.
Another roll of the roulette wheel, and here we go. Lap 57 underway. Here comes Carl Puller on Scott Fritz at the front of the field. This is going to be fun.
You know, Andrew, we've seen it time and time again. Johnny Wood Jr. has been committed to the odd line. And I say the odd line because that 75 car always tends to run opposite to his competition. If they're running the bottom, he's running the top. If they're running the top, he's running the bottom. Always trying to find a way to offset that competition, and that top line's working for him, moving that 75 car up into the third spot.
Off of turn 4, Johnny Wood Jr. behind his teammate Carl Puller. For the last 20 laps or so, since the end of stage number 1, it has been Scott Fritz and Carl Puller out front. But if we get some laps in here, I think things are about to change. As you see, the order is all over the place. Your top 10 are Fritz, Puller, Wood, Gilmore, and there's a caution. It's going to be Stock Arrow.
Oh, no. And he is in the wall, down on the bottom.
He's done. I heard a crunch. Racing with his teammate Cole Lewis. Back into the field here. The 52 and 62, I do believe announced today that Kyle Klenk will be joining them in season number 5 when this series becomes the Sundance Pro Series. This, it seems...
Just hit the transition bad on the apron. If you hit it too late, oh my goodness!
What are we doing?
If you just end up hitting that transition too late on that front straightaway, it tends to upset the car a little bit too much. You see there, he's tapping the apron through 3 and 4, coming onto the front stretch. And usually you want to hit the transition.
No, he just... He had to have... I don't know. Okay. I want to say, and so what I will say, is he had to have lost optics. He might be in VR. He might be... Maybe somebody turned off his monitors. Maybe they... I mean, I've seen monitors get an update sometimes mid-race. But that... I mean, he just starts turning more to the left.
Secondary to this, Johnny Wood Jr.'s done.
Well, let's see here for the 62 of Stock Arrow. Just car starts turning left through the grass and up the racetrack he goes. And I mean, I really hope that's an optic issue. I really hope that's peripherals there for him. And then for Johnny Wood, this is the moment of caution. Everything seems okay. Does something happen on the racetrack?
I'd seen that he had taken it behind the wall, so trying to put a pin in this at least.
Question is it due to something on the racetrack, or did he lose connection maybe? Did he encounter a hardware failure of some sort? He just pulls left and parks it. Been a rough night here at Las Vegas, that's for sure. That's still in question, I think, for Stock Arrow. And again, I hope that's just something as simple as an optical issue of some sort, as here's the choose for this next restart. It'll be Fritz down low, Pooler up top, Gilmore down low, Maddox up top. And we'll go back racing here again. I do want to take a look at the schedule as to how we got here this season. Here's a look back at season number 4. I know the caution graphic kind of covers up the 4 there, but I promise this is season 4. Las Vegas, final round of the season. We started back on May 6th at Daytona and have been racing since, of course, we handed the baton off to Freaky Fast Broadcasting, who's been in the YouTube chat. Hello, Robert. We handed the baton off to Freaky Fast on June 17th. They took over for the summer stretch through Bristol, Kansas, Charlotte, Dover, Indianapolis, and St. Louis. We took back over at Rockingham with a Christian Barnes victory. It was Kyle Heath at Miami, Dustin Stallings at Nashville, Jared Hughes at Chicago, Coulter Clark at Talladega, Christian Barnes again at California last week, and here we are at Las Vegas. Back to the restart zone. Scott Fritz leading. The field is thinning. We are back green. And down the back straightaway, it's a race for the top spots. Oh my goodness. Pooler, Maddox contacting the 3. Here comes King.
Outside line. It's been the power move all race long. Zach King looking to score another win in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. His first and only win so far. Coming at Atlanta Motor Speedway, now Echo Park Speedway. That was a season ago. We've said it before, Andrew. A lot of people said it, that it was just a walk-off win, an upset for that 51 car. He's trying to go out there and show him it wasn't. Carl Pooler goes way up to the wall. Brendan Maddox drops down to the bottom. They're going to be 4 wide on the front straightaway. Back to 3, back to 4. Josh Parent looking to the bottom. I'm going to turn into a spotter here in half a second. Oh my goodness.
Gilmore to Maddox. Gilmore just caught the back end of the 23 car. Here we go to the back straightaway. Gilmore down low, Maddox up top, Parent down low. He looks to the inside of the eye guy, and he parks his nose right underneath that number 10 car through 3 and 4. Scott Fritz has set sail to the tune of 1 second. The race for second. It's crazy.
Gilmore gets in front. King goes and taps the wall. Brandvold side by side with Pooler. Parent looking to make some moves down to the inside. Can't get clear of King. The run on the bottom does not help him out doesn't do him any favors at all. King gets clear of the 90 car, pushes Joshua Parent back into the 5th spot. So Zach King back into 4th. Zachary Brandvold up on the top side now. He's trying to make it work out there. Joshua Parent is left to hang and dry. Now Coulter Clark makes a big move on Carl Pooler right on the outside of this battle. They're side by side behind. You see them going into turn number 1. Joshua Parent still on the bottom, trying to make some moves on Zach King. If he can get clear here, it's going to help him out to 3 and 4. Can't quite get it done. Oh, this battle is really heating up.
Parent was definitely not a fan of King back at Miami. That was the home race for King. King had a couple of mistakes, and they involved an ID car of Josh Parent. Here they are side by side now, back end of stage number 2. Scott Fritz leads. Cameron Gilmore starting to run him down. Brendan Maddox in tow. That's your top 3. We are watching the battle for 4th.
Side by side, pinching, not giving any room. Zach King is trying to stay in front and go for this win. Carl Pooler taps the wall right behind them. Still side by side, tight contact between the 90 and the 51, and that is going to give open and ample room to Joshua Parent to take over the 4th spot. Now Zachary Brandvold looks to the bottom. Coulter Clark looks to his inside.
Brandvold down low now of the 51 of Zach King. There they go through turns 1 and 2. It'll be Brandvold over King now off of the 2nd corner. Well, maybe not. Side by side they stay. Coulter Clark there in tow. And here comes down low Buttkicker, earning his nickname once again. Sends it there on Pooler, just clears the 71.
Ooh, that was a little bit of game of self-clear right there on the 81 car. You see Stallings is now working his way back up. Pooler's on the bottom. That's going to open the door for Stallings up top. He'll get clear before they even get to the corner. Oh, look at how close he's going to get to the outside wall here. You could stick a muffin between the two of them. I don't know why I thought of a muffin. I know it's a weird reference, but it's I don't know. I was thinking about muffins earlier today.
You mean like a little bite muffin?
Like a Dunkin' Donuts muffin.
Well, regardless, Stallings back into stage point territory. As long as he takes some here in stage 2, that should be it for the championship. I know we've been talking about it a lot tonight. We've been quiet about the last 20 laps or so as King gets the outside wall in 1 and 2. He's going to go backwards. Here comes Cameron Carden looking for some stage points. He wants to move ahead of that 51 car. And up front, Cameron Gilmore has slowly been running that 48 down. There is a slight difference in tires here. A 4-lap difference, so a short run between the 48, the 10, and the 23. The 10 and 23 are on the same tires. Fritz is on slightly older tires by 4 laps. Maybe that's making the difference here, but Gilmore's running him down.
Don't forget guys like Josh Parent. He has not taken tires since his spin. Those tires have got to be super heated on that race car. He's still trucking them down, trying to get within a second. He's got it now. Zachary Brandvold has moved himself into the top 5. He's a pretty good long-run car. He knows how to get it done. In fact, Andrew, when you really think about it, our long-run ringers have not had a chance to shine tonight. Brendan Maddox, Zach Brandvold, Joshua Parent, Dustin Stallings. These guys have been absolutely in the hornet's nest on all of these different cautions, trying to keep themselves into the mix. Now they've actually got a bit of a chance to shine, and they're honestly doing great work here. Josh Parent's making a move on Brendan Maddox now.
Battle for 3rd. Parent sends it on Maddox, just gets clear and moves on by the 23 car. See Stallings into 6th now, right behind Brandvold. He's moved up. Here's the battle to turn 1. This is for 5th.
Brandvold dumps it down to the bottom line, and Stallings keeps it high, running it way up towards the wall. He's loving it up there, crosses him over, off corner exit. Dustin Stallings making a move down to the bottom in 3 and 4. He's gonna throw it into the corner, absolutely get clear of the 55. He has his sights set now on the 90 and the 23, but don't look now because Brandvold's right back on the back bumper.
Brandvold back to him, a shot there down the front straightaway. Zachary Brandvold has been announced as is returning to Spirit Racing in season number 5. He'll continue his campaign and his search for a race win in the BRB Sundance Pro Series, as it will be known next season. And this time around, we'll get 5 to go here in stage number 2. You see the top 10 on the left side of your screen. Fritz, Gilmore, Parent, Maddox, Stallings. Then Brandvold, Clark, Patinko, Pooler, and King. Here comes Stallings. On the outside of Brendan Maddox, Stallings has got the best tires in the top 10.
Is he using them too much? Look, he's going to tap the wall here, going through 1 and 2. Might have just been because of a little bit of contact with Maddox, but that's going to give Brandvold open and ample opportunity to put that 55 Duracell Toyota Camry to that bottom line. It's not going to do him much good down there. The runs on the top line are so powerful. Coulter Clark now coming back into the mix, and he's going to bring Evan Patinko in tow, followed by Carl Pooler and Zach King. So you see just how much the field is spreading. Dustin Stallings back to the outside line. You saw a puff of smoke out of the camera. Stallings is going to make that car work on that top line. Coulter Clark battling with Evan Patinko behind them, but the fight to focus on is the fight for 4th. Stallings still running that top line. Maddox moving on that bottom line. He's not going to be able to stay clear of the 00, and they're going to be side by side on the front straightaway.
Coulter Clark just got the wall in the background, but Stallings will go by his teammate in the 23. That's Brendan Maddox down low. Maybe not just yet. It's going to be here off of turn 2, I think, where it happens. Stallings now has that run and will clear. Brendan Maddox, battle for 2nd now gets going. Josh Parent gets by Cameron Gilmore. He is now charging after Scott Fritz.
After 2 spins and a vendetta with a black flag, this number 90 Murtis Esports racing machine is looking to put himself to the front. Josh has been, and we've talked about it, Andrew, we've talked about it quite a few times, that Josh has had some great speed lately in that number 90 car for Whiplash Racing. A lot of these Whiplash Racing drivers have had some pretty good speed, and that's not to toot my own horn, but toot their horn. But they've been doing really good, showing some great speed. I'm really excited to see what Evan Patinko is going to do for that team when he moves over next season. He's running in the 8th spot, just got past, or no, he's been past Carl Pooler, but he's working on Coulter Clark. These guys have all been showing great late race pace. They're doing everything they can, and they're doing it well.
Here we go, 1 lap to go in stage number 2. Josh Parent off of turn number 2, trying to chase down Scott Fritz. The gap, 4/10. It's going to be a long shot down here in 3 and 4. He's going to give it his best shot on the outside lane for the stage win in stage number 2. It'll go to Scott Fritz, finally winning a stage here in season number 4. He gets stage 2 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Scott Fritz will earn those 10 points. Dustin Stallings earning his 7 for finishing 4th here in the stage. We'll wait until the end of the race, but Zach, I do believe he has clinched it mathematically at this point. We won't announce him as the champion just yet. We'll save that moment for a little bit later, but boy, it has been an up and down night for Dustin Stallings for sure. And for Scott Fritz, finally, one of these stages goes right for him. See the rest of your top 10. Fritz, Parent, Gilmore, Stallings, Brandvold, Maddox, Clark, Patinko, Pooler, and then I do believe we've got a problem for Maxon Skinner. So we'll get a replay after all. Let's see what happened here. He was right behind Pooler, so he was 10th in the stage. And here they are checking up for the pace car. Christian Barnes just drives into him. And eventually,
They just stay hooked together here.
Barnes just turns him.
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
That's...
Well, pit stop's now underway. Dustin Stallings leading the charge as he started 2nd this evening. He's the final car there left in pit lane. A bunch of the front runners out of this race. And here comes Scott Fritz. It'll be Fritz off pit lane, followed by Parent, then Stallings and Brandvold. We'll dial up driver 48 in just a couple of moments. Finally getting himself a stage win. I know he's been trying to do that for a while. And finally gets one here in stage number 2 at Las Vegas. The the final possible stage win of the season, and Scott Fritz is going to get it. Scott, I'm not even trying week after week to get one of these stages. You finally do here in stage number 2. Again, the final stage of the season. You finally get it. How's that feel?
It feels good. We've had a million freaking stage points and still didn't make the playoffs just because our finishes weren't there. But it feels good to finally get it. Clean air's incredibly important here, so just got to hold on to it here.
And you kind of commanded that second stage with all of the chaos happening behind you. Of course, this third stage could be any kind of racing. We could see literally anything. What is your hope to happen behind you in your mirror?
Yeah, honestly, I kind of hope it just stays green here, and those guys can get to racing a little bit. Maybe we can kind of put a little bit of a distance there. I thought I broke the draft a little bit there, and they kind of pulled back to me, but then it kind of just managed the gap about half second there, and they kind of get in my wake a little bit. It kind of gets hard for them to pull up to me. So it's just trying to keep the clean air here. This is probably one of the worst tracks where the aero is because of the speed and everything in the corners. So just need to keep clean air and try and stay out front and see where we are at the end.
And Season 5, that's been the talk of the town this evening. Everybody getting ready for the new season with the new car. What's your outlook there? Is your team coming back, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I'll be back. I'm pretty sure Selby's going to be back. I'm really excited for the ARCA car. It drives more like the Gen 6, a lot off the right rear, which is what I'm really good at. So hopefully have a lot better season, just a whole lot of bad luck this season. So hopefully we'll be able to compete for a championship next year.
Scott Fritz looking for the top spot in the championship next season. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And Scott Fritz will lead us back to the green flag here after winning stage number 2 this evening in the Buttkicker 250. Here we go, back to the restart zone. This will begin stage number 3, the final stage of the season. Green flag in the air. We're racing once again. A bad start for the outside lane. Everybody stacks up there. Stallings went absolutely nowhere. The whole field stacked up top. That's going to help the bottom lane.
Hate to say it, Andrew, but that top line has been absolutely abysmal on every single restart so far. I haven't seen someone have a really good restart on the outside line all race long. But now we've got a set in stone top 3, top 4 really, as Cameron Gilmore has made his way by Dustin Stallings, who's trying to fight back. But you've got Fritz, Parent, Maddox, Gilmore, Stallings. That's your top 5, followed by Clark, Walker, King, Brandvold, and Evan Patinko. With so many chase drivers dropping out of this race, Andrew, it has opened the door for guys that we know that have the speed to get it done, but have never been able to close the deal. You've got Scott Fritz looking for his first win of the season, Josh Parent, Brendan Maddox, Cameron Gilmore, really cool, Gray Walker, Zach King, and I believe Evan Patinko are all looking for their first win of the season. Now Cameron Carden in the top 10. He's looking for his first win of the season. That's about 8 of the top 10 who haven't won a race so far yet. We may see a new winner tonight.
Not even top 10, or not even the win, Zach, but just top 10. A lot of these guys looking for their first top 10 of the season as Christian Barnes grabs the wall big time off of turn 2. Pooler, a big move. Pooler's going to the bottom lane. Patinko's headed backwards. Patinko does have some damage on that 81 car. You can see it there on the front bumper. It's been punched in pretty big over the couple of incidents he's been a part of tonight. Sam Dyer going to race to the inside of Patinko. This is the back end of the field. 16 cars left running.
We've still got so much race left to run. Just over halfway completed on the night.
And here's Madison Stallings once again. Now we'll get to see if Stallings truly has that big of an advantage or if those tires were helping him there in stage number 2. Of course, he had 15 lap better tires at the end of the stage. He was able to drive by a lot of these guys there at the end of the stage. How much was tire? How much was driver?
Hard to tell at the moment. As we roll into 3 and 4. Riding on board with Stallings, you can see him holding 5th gear all the way around this track, taking a bit of a wider exit than Maddox is. A little tap to the wall there, but he still keeps it going, keeps that car pointed in the right direction. And these are the top 2 in the championship right now, Andrew. your points leader. We're riding on board with him now. Maddox moves to the top. Stallings crosses him up down on the bottom line. Gets a big run on corner exit. Top line still prevailing with keeping Maddox side by side with the 0-0 Stallings, but a big send into turn 3. That's going to promote the 0-0 above the 23 of Maddox. And realistically speaking, Andrew, they are separated post-stage number 2 by 44 points respectively. I don't know about you, but I think it's looking pretty clear cut and dry for who is going to be your Season 4 champion.
Certainly looking good for Dustin Stallings right now, but I would say mathematically, I think we know the answer. We'll give it 60 laps or so here till the end of this race, but yes, it's looking very clear what's going to happen for this season's championship, and I think the most fair way to look at this isn't, man, we don't have a battle for the championship. I think it's a celebration of how good Dustin Stallings has been this season. 3 wins on season number 4. That's just 17 races to this point. He can still get a 4th here tonight. He is the defending winner here at Las Vegas, won back in season number 2. And he has just been, I think, the best week in, week out. And at one point, he had won 9 of 10 stages. Right? I mean, that is a huge, huge stat line to have. That's over the course of 5 races. He had won 9. That is 4.5 races worth of stages. He has just been so dang good. To call it anything but a celebration of how good he's been here in Season 4, I think would be a disservice.
It's gonna sound like a really odd comparison, but I feel like you could compare tonight's race to something like a funeral. Now, don't kick me before you hear it. It sounds really wrong, honestly, but it's like you're not mourning for why you're here. You're celebrating what got you here. And that's Dustin Stallings celebrating a season-long effort to get himself into this position. Sure, we're coming to an end tonight with the final race of the season, but we're celebrating what he has done over the course of the season. You talked about it, Andrew. 4.5 races worth of maximizing stage points, which is something you have preached all season long here with the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Maximize stage points. He's done it. He's executed. He's closed the deal time and time again so far this season. I mean, we could compare a dominating run like this to something like what Mason Houseman did over the course of a couple of seasons running full-time. He's done an absolute stand-up job to put himself in this position, and he rightfully deserves to hoist that trophy high when he comes to the close of this race.
We'll talk more about it as the night goes on. For now, Dustin runs in the 3rd spot and certainly would like to bump that up a couple of positions and defend that win here at Las Vegas from a couple of seasons ago. And, you know, that was right before he was going to become a dad the second time around, right before the birth of his second daughter. Of course, Adam here tonight was trying to end the season on a high note before he welcomes his daughter into the world. And while it won't be quite the same kind of night for Adam as it was for Dustin a couple of seasons ago, I do want to put out good thoughts and everything to Adam and Julie. I know their lives are about to change very drastically. I very distinctly remember when my son was welcomed into this world, and it is a lot of anxiety, I'll tell you that. A lot of anxiety boiling up to one big moment, and then everything changes. And Adam's going to be a whole new Adam Buzzio in season number 5, that's for sure. His world is going to change. Julie is going to feel a lot, and I think they have a great support system around them. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how everything changes for them and how they embrace these new challenges and everything moving forward. They're great friends, of course, as everybody here in the series, and I think this is just a great opportunity here, these final 60 or so laps, to just wrap everything into a bow, celebrate everything that's happened here in Season 4, and everything that's going to happen in Season 5. As we do still have battles on the racetrack. A quick look here, Dustin Stallings, Brendan Maddox, they go after it. Cameron Gilmore, 3 cars battling for position. Zach King in trouble. King. Oh my goodness, he's going to skid down to a stop, maybe?
What a save!
Wow.
What
Let's take a look
save.
back.
That was awesome. You don't really see a four-wheel slide like that and not have the car spin. Oh my goodness. Branville just comes on up, gets into the 51. He slides, locks it down, modulates the throttle and the gas. You can see the wheels stopping, spinning, and he keeps it straight.
That's another case of Zach Brandvold kind of clearing up the racetrack. We saw that with the Jared Hughes incident a while ago out of turn 4, and here Zach is on his own and just gets blindsided. Locks it down though. This is a really good job, as you mentioned. And he just locks it down, slowly starts to release the brake, but does so in a way that doesn't spin the car completely around, never brought the caution out. Props to Zach King.
He didn't rotate the wheel that much either. He kind of kept it straight. He slightly turned into the slide. Probably point the wheel, from what it looked like, around maybe about 11 o'clock, close to 10 o'clock. Kept it right there, held it until he felt he had control of the car. Cranked it back to the left so it didn't spin back to the right. Great job. Outstanding job from Zach King. Now, this is a fight just outside the top 10. This is Sam Dyer we're riding on board with. That's Braxton Skinner, Christian Barnes, and Cameron Carden right in front of him. They're battling just inside the top 10. Barnes looking to get back inside the top 10. Carden looking to defend his spot inside the top 10. And he is doing an absolute outstanding job. That KC Athletics car, that Ford Mustang, doing an absolute stand-up job. Now Skinner on the back bumper of the 27. They almost got 3 wide for a moment. It's getting a little tense right here.
Carden trying to get back on Barnes. Barnes bobbles. Carden reacts, and there they go off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. We've just gone past lap 100. Now these guys can go about 51 to a tank. So with about 50 laps to go, the pit window is going to open up. That's in about 13 laps. 13 to 15 laps. The pit window will open, and these drivers can head down the pit lane at any point in time from then on to make their final pit stop of the night if this thing does go green. And what did I tell you, Zach? I know I could be speaking a caution into existence here, but I told you, we've seen races be chaotic before and then just suddenly go green. That's what we're seeing so far. It can still change, and I'll knock on wood just for the heck of it. Here we go, 3 wide. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you and I thought the same thing, I guarantee it. We thought that Braxton Skinner was going to turn that 27 car off his nose. That, oh my goodness, that looked very, very close. And now you've got Sam Dyer making a move to the inside of Cameron Carden. He settles back in line. Cole Lewis right behind them. So this 5-car group just having some fun here. Settling in, making some hay. Take a shot if you don't mind. But we're having fun. We're having so much fun in the closing laps here. We've got 60 laps to go next time by. And, you know, Andrew, I would like to propose a game for the off-season if you're up for it.
What's that?
Pit Stop TV watch party. Now, here's what I'm thinking. We let our Pit Stop TV viewers watch, and this would be for our very, very hardcore viewers here on the Pit Stop TV channel. Oh boy, Christian Barnes!
Wow. What's happening
That's
here?
gonna bring out the yellow.
Not necessarily. Back off the racetrack. If he comes back on, it might. That's back on the racetrack. Here come the leaders.
Waiting for it,
That's
for it,
Buttkicker.
not seeing anything.
That's King. And he's slowly going to get rolling. No caution. What just happened here for Christian Barnes? Let's go back and see. Racing with Braxton Skinner on the front straightaway, but he was a little ways ahead of Braxton. Out of turn 4. Watch here. Christian Barnes. Does he get help? Braxton just gets him.
Thankfully, Barnes misses the pit exit, so he doesn't get a black flag for unsafe exit or speeding through the pit lane. So that is good to see for that 27 car. What he's not happy to see is getting tapped around like that.
Just the slightest bit of contact. Braxton's going to be glad there's no yellow out of this. Of course, Christian wanted the caution pretty heavily there for sure, but No yellow for that incident. We will continue racing here, and Christian Barnes is now the back end of the field, some 21 seconds behind the race leaders. He's on the back straightaway. Zachary King is the next car ahead of him by 5.5 seconds. And Meatball Motorsports had a great night going at one point. It is all turned around for them. At the front, though, Scott Fritz still leads Zach. Josh Parent not far back. We could have a race here soon as the tires start to wear out and the pit lane opens up.
Yeah, Parent and Gilmore have done an absolute stand-up job to go up there and catch that 48 car of Scott Fritz. Dustin Stallings has dropped like a rock, Andrew. He was within a second of the race leader. Now he is fighting behind Brendan Maddox in that 5th spot, trying to claw back to 4th. I don't know if he's saving tires or if he used up his stuff a little too soon. But the long-run drivers are really starting to play into the strategy. Maddox, Parent, Gilmore, they're having a great time. Stallings as well. I know I brought him up as a long-run driver, but he's dropped back a little bit considerable way. Up front, though, that 90 car looking poised to take away the race lead. Down to the inside he goes. He's going to take a look. Fritz throws the block hard. Going to take all the air off the 90 car's nose. Parent's probably not going to like that one.
He was gaining, and then as soon as Fritz took the air away, the 90 just stalled out. On board here with Josh Parent. Cameron Gilmore, 3/10 back. Gilmore and Vin Wingerden talked to them today. They will be part-time at best in season number 5, so they will be departing from Spirit Racing as Spirit looks to chase a championship. Spirit announced their new drivers for season number 5. Of course, Zach Brandvold among them. I scroll up in the chat here. It's going to be... one moment. I'm going to find it again. Well, you know what? I'll let Mason do it. Mason was in the chat earlier. If Mason is still around, I'll let him announce the drivers in YouTube chat for season number 5. There were a couple of names I had not seen before, so they'll be new to the series for season 5. But Zach, we are on the cusp of opening the pit lane for service here. Very, very close. Could Parent undercut the 48?
Well, we are within the window, even if there were to be a green-white checkered. The laps that we're looking for are about
right on
50 to 51. It's so close right now on what could potentially be
52 to go right now.
Interesting strategy call.
52 to
I'm
go.
not sure, Andrew.
I think Parent definitely should drive another 10 laps or so, depending on what Fritz does. Because these guys have only run about 30 laps on these tires. We've been green since the beginning of Stage 3 here. It's only been 30 laps or so since we got the green flag. Try to balance it out, as here's a car pitting, it's going to be Stallings.
Well, you know what they say, you never want to be the first one to pit road, but someone has to do it, and Dustin Stallings is going to be that someone. He is getting it right on the window. It looks like he is expecting this race to run green.
Yeah, this is definitely a move in case this does go green, or in case we get a yellow after things cycle out, because he's going to try and get these new tires in the car and go fastest for a handful of laps and run faster laps than the guys he's leaving on the racetrack, and it's only 2.
Tires.
It's only 2.
I thought he might do 2 tires. I was sitting here thinking, what if he does 2? He's going to try to gain some ground here. I don't know what the wear is on those left side tires over the course of the run, but I think Stallings believes that it's not enough to justify 4 tires.
So Stallings, 2 tires, back out there. He is 1 lap down, so a caution now would hurt him, but if this goes green and cycles through, he could cycle into the lead. Here we go. Pooler and Brandvold now battle. This is for 7th. Into turn number 1. They're just behind Gray Walker. Chevrolet and Toyota do some battle.
Brandvold cuts it back in line. Stays with Carl Pooler.
And how about these two right here? Teammates at Accelerate Racing. They each have a win this season. Coulter Clark won at Talladega. Gray Walker won at Indianapolis and made the chase. Accelerate looking good as These two lead the charge for that team, each with a win. Braxton Skinner and Caden Perkins, the other two drivers over there, that organization, not able to win this season, but definitely making the switch over to the ARCA cars can open anything up for anybody. It's going to be a brand new car for a lot of these drivers. A lot of these drivers, I think, will be running that car in a league for the very first time when we unload at Daytona in October. So it's going to be a lot of unknowns. We've only ever had one race with that new ARCA car here on Pit Stop TV, so we're even going to learn a whole lot when Season 5 opens up in October as the BRB Sundance Pro Series. So much to be determined when we get to Daytona October 14th. But these two run 5th and 6th. Coulter Clark ahead of Gray Walker. Carl Pooler just behind. And Zach, we're getting closer. Pit stops are looming. The opportunity, the temptation is going to start to be there for a lot of these drivers, for everybody. I mean, you already see Stallings down and away. Stallings is running, let's see, last lap was a 30.4, so he's about 7/10 quicker. You know what? Let's bring out the graphic. Let's show Scott Fritz, and let's show Dustin Stallings right there. Fritz last lap a 31.1, Stallings a 30.4.
Haven't seen this graphic all night, but love to see it get used to compare just how powerful new tires are. And Brendan Maddox has decided to elect to go to the pit lane. I said decided and elected. That's literally two of the same. But either way, Maddox on the pit lane. Let's see where he goes. Does he follow in Dustin Stallings' footsteps and take 2 tires? Does he gamble on the 4 into the box for the 23?
It's going to be at least 2 tires for Brendan Maddox. You see the right side of the car go up. Will the left side follow? Or will it be a 2-tire stop? He points the wheels. It'll be a 4-tire stop for Brendan Maddox. So a split decision in the Maverick camp.
That's 3 extra seconds he spent in the box, though.
And that could also be a game time decision. Oh, he's going to bin it almost. Oh, my goodness. Back up on the gas. Nearly lost control. Brendan Maddox. That's going to cost him a lot of extra time. It won't be a completely fair comparison because of that lost time, but he's going to be 9 seconds back of Dustin Stallings as Brandvold and Pooler swap spots. And now Clark, Walker, and Brandvold, teammates a season ago. Brandvold left Accelerate to go to Spirit Racing here in Season 4. And you can tell Clark and Walker are trying to work together, but Brandvold is spoiling the party.
Running that high line. Getting clear of the 18. And Carl Pooler's going to take that 71 car to the pit lane as the fight continues between the 55 and the 18. That's the fight for 5th.
Lewis, Skinner,
Lewis, Braxton Skinner.
Let's see, what does Pooler do? I'm curious, actually. What's it going to be for Carl Pooler? How many tires? Right sides will go on for sure. Lewis and Skinner, we'll see what they do. We can see both there in the background, and it's going to be 4 tires, it looks like, for Pooler. 2 so far for Lewis. Let's see what Skinner does. So 4 for Pooler, 4 for Lewis, 4 for Skinner. So far, Stallings is the only one to go for 2.
The move might be for 4.
And let's now compare lap times between Stallings and Maddox. Remember, they've been pretty even in pace so far tonight as we see Brandvold and Walker go at it. Well, let's see, where's Stallings up to 12th now.
Lane. Josh Parent's taking it to the pit lane. Gilmore is going to follow him.
We'll follow them down the pit lane, but let's see the lap time comparison. Bottom of your screen, Stallings a 30.7, Maddox a 30.0. That over the course of 30 or so laps, that could add up.
Into the box for the 2nd and 3rd place cars. That was a slower into the box for Joshua Parent than Gilmore.
What's it going to be, 2 or 4? It'll be 4 tires.
Yeah, 4 tires for the 90, 4 tires for the 10. There you see Gilmore getting out of the box, out and away. Barnes is out.
There goes Parent. Parent's going to win the race off pit lane between he and Gilmore. So he'll hold on to that spot. And now, here's the battle for the race lead as we have had Scott Fritz head to the pit lane. What's he going to do? Here's Fritz. Right sides are on. Will he take only rights? It's going to be 4. So this is going to be really interesting to see where Stallings cycles out as Brandvold now leads. Here's the battle for the race lead at the moment. And there's Stallings.
Stallings is trying to get his lap back. He's
That's
the first
right.
car 1 lap down at the moment. It would be Scott Fritz who would be 1 lap down. Now it would be Brendan Maddox.
Stallings is ahead of Fritz. Stallings is ahead of Fritz. There's Stallings in turn 3. There's Fritz exiting turn 2. Maddox has passed him. Parrott has passed him. Fuller has passed him. Gilmore has passed him.
This would realistically put Joshua Parrott close to the... No, that would put Brendan Maddox... No, that would put Dustin Stallings to the race lead. But
Yes.
he's on 2 tires. Oh, my goodness.
Stallings is way ahead. 5 seconds up on Brendan Maddox.
But we saw the comparisons of the lap time. 7/10 the difference. And even on another lap, that was 5/10 the difference. You see Barnes down to the bottom trying to get his lap back. Actually, he just went a lap down. Stallings passes him up. Waiting to see if the 55 and the 18 are ducking to the pit lane. They are not. Stallings still waiting in the wind.
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to speak on it too early. But I felt like all along it should have been, as soon as you saw Stallings go for 2, I feel like everybody else should have gone for 2. I understand you want to try to do something different than him. Or do different than him to beat him, right? But he got those 2 on and pitted so much earlier. He put such a gap between himself and the rest of these guys. It's going to be really hard to make up 5 seconds over 30 laps. I don't care who you are when you're chasing the champion to be.
You've got Brandvold, Walker, Dyer, Patinko, King all staying out, trying to see if they can catch a yellow and trap a lot of these guys a lap down. Walker knocking the wall down along the straightaway. Stallings looking to find a way around and get his lap back the hard way. If a caution comes out, he does not want to have to utilize a free pass. That's a tap to the wall for the 0-0. As Dyer's in the pit lane now. He's gone officially 1 lap down. He's going to get passed up by Maddox and Parrott. Hearing Zach King's going to be pulling down to the pit lane this time.
A lot more pit stops still going on. We're watching Dustin Stallings here, right behind Gray Walker and Zachary Brandvold, who are yet to pit. They are reaching the edge of what they can do on 1 tank of gas. So I would expect them in this next lap or 2.
Well, think about it, Andrew. Stallings is being very patient. That's allowing these guys to get caught up to him. He's running behind slower cars. This is going to make the fight for the lead all that much closer.
A little bit. I don't know how much.
Maddox and Parrott. They're off at turn number 2 right now. You see him coming down the back straightaway. They're closing in.
And Brandvold and Walker continue. Let's see the last lap for the top 4 drivers as things have cycled so far. Stallings, Maddox, Parrott, Gilmore. Stallings, a 31.09. Maddox, a 30.5. Parrott, a 30.2. Gilmore, a 30.3. So Parrott the fastest, Gilmore the next quickest. Parrott is on Maddox.
There you see him making a move down to the bottom. Joshua Parrott to the inside of Brendan Maddox. And that is clear, cut, and dry. And from the sounds of the race communications, it looks like they're trying to just maybe do a couple Indian runs. When one has a run, get in front. When the other has a run, get in front. Try and do what they can to catch Dustin Stallings. And look at that, almost a second faster per lap. Joshua Parrott over Dustin Stallings. Brendan Maddox, half a second almost clear of Dustin Stallings. And even Cameron Gilmore, he's one of the faster cars on the racetrack right now. He's stuck behind Carl Pooler and Scott Fritz. There is Walker in the pit lane. Brandvold, the only car still on the racetrack at the moment. No, he's in the pit lane as well.
And Brandvold and Walker finally pitted. Walker gets down and away. Brandvold as well. 4 tires for each of them, it looks like. Actually, it might have been 2. They were a little quicker in the box. Honestly, my memory doesn't serve me correctly, but regardless, they're quicker in the box. Closer to a 2-tire stop than a 4. Stallings leads by 1.8 seconds. 30 laps to go. That gap is definitely surmountable. It's going to take a lot, though.
Parrott's closing. He's doing everything he can.
So let's bring the graphic back up. Let's compare lap times one more time. Hang on. There we go. Let's get all 4. Your top 4 on the racetrack. Stallings, Parent, Maddox, Fritz. Stallings with a 30.5. He's picked it back up. Parent a 30.4. Maddox a 30.8. Fritz a 30.7. I think realistically, it's fair to say Maddox and Fritz are long shots. Parent's got the best chance of anybody to keep Stallings from backing up his previous Las Vegas win. It's going to take a lot, though. Look at that. Nearly identical that lap.
Yeah, we talked about it, Andrew. With Stallings being caught behind two slower cars, it really caught him out and allowed these guys to close that gap down. Parent has done a much better job of closing it than Maddox has. You can see it on the ticker, 3 seconds back to Maddox, 1.6 seconds back to Parent. He's closing in, Andrew. You said it yourself as well. Maddox and Fritz have a shot, but Joshua Parent right now in the best position at the line, 2/10 quicker that time by than Dustin Stallings.
He's a lot more than 2/10. You see the top 4 and their lap times on the bottom of your screen. You see the delta from first to second on the bottom right. A lot of data to throw at you, but hopefully you can digest it because there's a lot to consider here these final 30 laps of the season. Let's see what the new lap time is across the line for Stallings. It's going to be a 30.6 for Parent, a 30.6 as well. So, I mean, that's hundredths now. He needs to be making up tenths. He cannot settle for hundredths. It needs to be tenths.
He can still prioritize the long run, though. We have got 4 drivers in the top 5 that are some of the best long run cars so far this race. Stallings, Parent, Maddox, and Gilmore. Fritz has done an absolute great job of being a long run car as well. He has kept that car up front for majority of this race. Now he's fighting with Evan Patinko, who is laps down at the moment. So everyone you see on your screen at the moment is on the lead lap, minus Evan Patinko. You see Cameron Carden back there. He is currently, I believe, 1 or 2 laps down.
He's 1 lap down. Patinko and Carden in the first 2 cars, 1 lap down. King and Barnes joined them. Otherwise, what you're looking at here is the front of the, well, third through 6th, pretty much. Fritz is 3rd. Gilmore is 4th. Maddox is 5th. Pooler is 6th. So Maddox is sinking slowly. And he did pit a little bit earlier than the rest of these guys.
In terms of tires, and if we're sticking with just the top 5, in terms of tires, Parent and Gilmore have the advantage at the moment. They are the ones on the freshest set. They took 4 tires.
Fritz has got them by a lap.
That is true. Oh, actually, that is correct.
But he's 2 seconds back of Parent. That's an extra gap he's got to try to make up. But Fritz did pit the latest out of the top 6 cars. Randvold then next latest as Maddox falls back to 6th behind Pooler. And up front, there you see Stallings, there you see Parent. The gap has come down a little bit, but not by much.
By about 3/10 right now since the last time we checked in. And that gap rising once again up to 1.4. We've got lap cars up ahead in 1 and 2. I believe, actually, that's Christian Barnes. He passed Dustin Stallings to put himself from 2 to 1 lap down. Doing everything he can to keep himself in this fight. Barnes, we've talked about him quite a bit, Andrew. He's done an absolute great job with being involved in the chase. He's got a couple of wins on the season. Dustin Stallings has done a great job. He is out in front. Realistically, looking at the math, he's going to lock down this championship. There's really no more question about it. It's hard to put a pin in it, but Stallings has just been absolutely amazing. And you know, can we nominate him for driver of the day? He's done a great job already. He's been a phenomenal driver of the race, but looks like he's going to win the championship too. I feel like that's icing on the cake.
You're definitely getting there. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll give you the floor. Final driver of the day nominations of season number 4. Coming at you here. This will be a poll over on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube tonight, you can vote in this. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, I invite you to head over to YouTube and make your vote once we get this poll up. Zach, the floor is yours.
I think I'm going to have to go with Scott Fritz for my first pick. He's done a great job this race. He has been in solid contention all race long. He's working that gap down as well. He's had some great strategies, had some great calls, and he's led some laps, so I think that would be a solid pick for the 48 car. And then my number 2 pick, I'm going to have to go with Josh Parent, running in that second spot. He has recovered from a black flag that he tried to serve 3 separate occasions, serving it on that 3rd time, worked his way back up on old tires in stage 2, and has fought his way to close that gap down for this race lead, and it's going to be a fight between him, Dustin Stallings, and Scott Fritz for this race win.
I'm gonna be a little exciting here with my first of 2 picks, and that's got to be Cameron Gilmore. Started 11th outside of the top 10, and we just have not seen a run like this. We know he's going to part-time bases at best next season. And the eye guy, as I dubbed him here tonight, Buckeye Optometry on the side of that race car, has had a clear view of the front for most of the evening. It has been a good night for Cameron Gilmore. Nearly won stage 1, was up there in contention for stage 2. I can't pass him up. Cameron Gilmore is going to be nominated here for Driver of the Day. And as much as it pains me to take a race leader for Driver of the Day, Zach, Dustin Stallings, because of the 4th stat there on that graphic, as low as 22nd, was a lap down so many times tonight, nursing that damage. He was involved in a couple of different incidents earlier, has been nursing that car back to life. I cannot pass him up. This is not because of the season he's had. That speaks for itself. This is because of the endurance factor, the attrition, the unwillingness to give in tonight. He could have parked it. He had it just about clinched. He could have just let it be what it was. He is fighting. He's going down with a fight here tonight. He wants to win this race. I got to nominate him for Driver of the Day.
Well, he's doing an absolute great job, and I think we've picked 4 great drivers to nominate tonight. And talking about these 4 great drivers, Fritz and Gilmore, they're fighting for 3rd, and Parent has worked that gap within a second, half a second now, to Dustin Stallings. Now he's getting to the point where he has to run opposite to him. He has to change up the line, try to make sure he's not running with the dirty air. It's going to come down to the wire, Andrew. We have got 16 laps to go in this race, and we're looking at what could be a fight to the end for Joshua Parent and Dustin Stallings. Stallings looking to wrap up a championship, and Parent looking to start fresh, rolling into season 5 and nab his first win here tonight.
And think about tires. Stallings has 2, and they're about 11 laps older. Parent's got 4, they're 11 laps newer. That's your battle for the race win right now. 15 laps to go as these 2 continue on. Yes, there's a fight for 3rd, sparking the gap, though. 1.5 seconds between these 2. Let's visit Fritz and Gilmore for a moment. Pooler is in that conversation as well. There they are off the corner.
We saw them side by side just out of camera shot off of turn number 4. That's where I try to chime in, because this is where we start to get down to the nitty gritty. You have got Gilmore, who is trying to work on that 48 car. He knows that he has a great car. He knows that he has the ability to take this position away. It's just a matter of finding the right time to make the move, finding where he can get that car into the podium position and take this race into his hands for that 3rd spot, potentially try to go up there and chase down Josh Parent and Dustin Stallings, but they're running out of time with just how many laps we have left to go in this race.
Gilmore right on the back bumper here of Scott Fritz. Could be a career night for Cameron. Hate to see him go to part-time next season. It's been a lot of fun to watch him get better over the course of season number 4. And how about Carl Pooler? I mean, he was involved in stuff at the very beginning of this race. Went to the back end of the field. Let's see, what's the lowest for him tonight? 22nd, just like Dustin Stallings. Has been to the back and back to the front. Has a few laps led. And is outlasting the rest of his teammates here tonight for Limitless. His final race with them. And he's trying to put it up in the top 5. He's got it in the top 5. Would like to go for the top 3.
We have seen so much good racing here tonight. So much attrition out of so many of these different drivers. It's been phenomenal to watch. It's been such a great race. I know we had quite a few cautions early on in this race that really kind of set a bit of a tone, but I think we've started to settle into a great run here, and I think we're setting up for a great finish.
11 laps to go. The gap still about a half second, a little more now. Stallings and Parent, they've plateaued. The tire's not doing as much for Parent now. The air is starting to take over. That is what Stallings was hoping for. It's easier to defend. It's easier to finish first when you're already first. I think it's fair to say. At a racetrack like this, aero comes into effect. We've seen it time and time again in this NASCAR Next Gen car here on intermediates. Dirty air is king. In this case, Dustin Stallings took the risk, took 2 tires, pitted early to get those tires on, run quicker laps, and get the gap to then defend. We saw Parent run him down with relative ease, but now, Zach, the last 5 to 10 laps, he's been locked right at a half second back. He can't get any closer.
Yeah, 9 laps to go, count them, 8 now at the line. In fact, they've already caught Christian Barnes once again. So maybe we'll start seeing a little bit of dirty air affect that 0-0. Maybe bring that 90 car Josh Parent into the mix a little bit more. But you're not wrong. It is all just plateaued as Stallings actually taps the wall right there. That was a little bit of a tap for that 0-0.
Go back to California. Go back to California a week ago. Christian Barnes was putting pressure on Stallings, and Stallings made a mistake on a turn 2. Gave the win away to Christian Barnes. Pressure's starting to go on Stallings now. Inside of 10 to go. Parent has run him down as best as he can. Caution's out! Gray Walker!
Oh, no!
Everything's going to change. Anybody can win now.
Oh, my goodness. Oh my goodness.
We had nearly gotten down to the end. Inside of 10 to go. But this season said, oh no, not that easy. Here we go. Here's the battle between Maddox and Walker off of turn 4. Maddox comes up. And got him again off of turn 4.
Why does that feel like a rinse and repeat of what happened between Coulter Clark and Matthew Selby and Josh Parent, just maybe minus 1 car?
Gonna look back at it here from a couple of higher angles. Pit lane is gonna come alive in a second. Maddox just pushed up. He just got really tight down there. And there you see it all compound. Brandvold and King get by. Walker, a quick hit to the wall. Shouldn't be too bad. Should be minor repairs and back on the racetrack for the number 18. But here we go. Pit stop, Zach. Everybody's going to come and get 4. Do you risk it, though, for 2?
It's going to be dicey.
I think it's the last race of the season, man. You're going to have less than 5 laps.
Who has the sets? Who does have the sets, though?
6 sets? Are you kidding me?
Oh.
6 change sets. That's 7 total. Everybody's got tires. Don't worry about that. You've got them, bolt them on, and everybody's going to have them. I think you go for 2, personally.
The race off pit road is going to be one of the most important.
Oh, watch the edge of pit lane. That could be a penalty for Stallings and Parent both. They were right on the edge there.
Fritz gets to the box nice and clean. Don't miss your stops, gentlemen. Don't miss your boxes. In nice and easy. You see Gilmore up on the jack. You see Parent up on the jack. Who goes for 2? Who goes for 4? Patinko's out and away. That's 2 tires. 2 tires for Fritz. 4 tires for Parent. 2 tires for Stallings.
Patinko wins the race off the pit lane. Stallings follows. Fritz out after. Then Gilmore and Parent. I think that is a huge missed opportunity. He's going to be 5th, and we have not seen that work for anybody this season. To be that far back on a late restart and move forward, like, it can happen. But watch here, Stallings, that's 2, he's down and away. And Parent's left waiting. He takes 4, barely gets out ahead of Skinner.
Skinner actually
Skinner passed him. Skinner's a lap down.
That is true.
No! Skinner's 4th. I'm sorry. Who did I... Patinko's a lap down. Okay. That's what it is. I had the count off wrong because Patinko's a lap down. So Patinko is not for the lead. Oh my gosh. What that could have been for Evan Patinko.
Now the choose cone. Now we have to think about the choose cone. The outside line has not been getting good restarts at all.
Who goes where? Stallings high. Oh my. Scott Fritz down low. Cameron Gilmore up top. And Skinner down low. Where does Parent go? Parent's going to go high. Pooler down low. He's going to restart 5th. This could be a great opportunity for the 2 front rows. 3 of those 4 drivers in the 2 front rows do not have a win. In fact, the only 3 drivers in the top 10 with wins are Stallings with 3, and then Walker and Clark with 1 apiece. Everybody else in the top 10 winless.
See drivers scrubbing tires, getting heat in them, setting up for what is going to be a 4-lap run to the checkered. That is, if we don't go into overtime, it is a possibility here. We have got the availability to do so.
And we couldn't do it.
It's going to be a great run.
And we couldn't do it without these partners on the left side of your screen. They are the reason we're here. The Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Ideally, Sundance Pizza, Performance Food Group, MXWraps.com. Here we go. Who has rolled the dice? Who is going to strike big here in Las Vegas? 4 laps to go. Restart zone for Stallings, for Fritz, for Gilmore, for Skinner. Green flag. Could it be the final one of season 4? Stallings out and away. Everybody trying to get to the bottom. Big crash. It's going to be Gilmore in the wall. And we are going to overtime.
That was a hard, heavy hit. Gilmore did not get going on the restart. So what I talked about, Andrew, the top line has not been good with going on the starts. Stallings made it work, but he was also the control car that time.
Yeah, it's easy to make the top line work when you're the leader. Let's see what happens here. Gilmore and Parent, the top end of the top lane. Gilmore doesn't really go anywhere. Where does Parent go? Parent looks middle. And I just don't think Gilmore gave him enough room. And that could go either way. Race control could take that either way, and I don't think it'd be a bad call.
In all honesty, Andrew, I think everyone on that restart timed it perfectly except for Cameron Gilmore. And I'm talking specifically on the top line, though. Because you saw Brandvold, you saw Parent, you saw Coulter Clark. Look at that. He went through the middle. They all had a very good restart.
I hate that for the eye guy, but I saw something there that I want to play back in slow-mo. So watch this here from these same cameras. There's the restart. And let it switch, and down here into 1. Let's slow it down. Parent goes middle. He's established position down there. Gilmore is coming down and squeezing. And Parent tries to go low. Gilmore keeps squeezing. That, I think, is the only difference here in this crash. Otherwise, I think it's a toss-up. I think it's just racing hard with 4 laps to go on a restart. Because this has happened time and time again in NASCAR. I mean, it's just what you get. Late race restart. And it's going to be so hard. We see already 1 restart is played out. That is how hard it's going to be to beat Dustin Stallings on one of these restarts. It is going to take a lot. You had to be the first off pit lane, and it was him. I'm not saying the race is over. I just don't think there's going to be enough time now on an overtime restart for anybody to touch him. And let's go ahead and review those overtime rules. Brought to you by Lucky Performance. 2 laps, a green lap and a white lap, then checkers. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. We race it out from there. If the green lap is not completed, we restart. We get 3 attempts. That first one we just saw does not count. After all attempts are used, a caution can end the race. Basically, if we get to the 3rd attempt and we get a caution during the green lap, the race is over. We'll run out those last 2 laps under caution, and that will be it. So here's the choose, I do believe. And Stallings will go high again. Fritz low. Coulter low. Skinner high.
Oh boy. There's so much that can take place on this restart. You have to time it. You have to be up on the wheel. There is no holding back right now. Fritz needs to make sure he is side by side with that 00. Door check him if you have to. We see it a lot in short track racing where you try to psych him out a little bit. You give him a little door check. You don't run him up. You don't try to wreck them. You just door check them a little bit. When they're coming to the restart, psychs them out, gets in their head. They mess up the restart, keeps you in check, prevents anyone else from really trying to make some big moves, but there's got to be something that these guys can do to fight Dustin Stallings for this race win. He has got it locked down right now, and they have got to find a way to take it away from him.
Looking good for Dustin Stallings. We're going to have 2 laps. Overtime restart in Las Vegas. Here we go. Restart zone. Watch Stallings launch. Can Fritz match it? Green flag. They spin their tires a bit. Stallings has the lead. Right down to the bottom, to the white line. Better restart overall. Stallings leads. Fritz second. Then Poole are your top 3. Down the back stretch. If they get to the white flag, this race is official.
Skinner with the big move, trying to get to third. Carl Pooler defends hard. They're all up the racetrack right behind them. And out in front, it's going to be white flag in the air, presented by Whiplash SimCams. One more time around for Dustin Stallings. The championship season has been in his favor. He has maximized points. He has done everything he absolutely needs to do. And with an abysmal way to start this race, he's going to walk out of here potentially a winner.
Josh Parent sinking down the order. They're 3 wide back there, but up front it's single file amongst your top runners. And off of turn number 4, Las Vegas once again belongs to Dustin Stallings. To the checkered flag, Dustin Stallings wins the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series Championship here in Season 4 with a win here, his 4th on the season. Dustin Stallings rides off into the Las Vegas sunset, a 4-time winner and a champion. And it's going to be a party at Maverick Motorsports tonight. We knew for a while at this point he'd be the champion. But he just had to go and seal the deal. Another win for Dustin Stallings here this season. And it comes when he didn't even need to finish the race. He outlasted so much tonight, Zach. So much damage. Comes home with the win, seals up the championship. Left no doubt. He is your champion.
What an absolute drive for Dustin Stallings. Putting it all out there and doing everything he needed to do to get this championship, to get this win. And he is going to burn it down. Maverick Motorsports should be walking away as well with a team championship at the end of the night.
And we'll be talking to his soon-to-be teammate who finishes 3rd. Carl Pooler comes through at the end, a 3rd place finish. Scott Fritz hung on for 2nd. And there you see the team celebration from Stallings, from Maddox. Dustin Stallings, another one this season. 4 wins here on season number 4. And he is the newest champion in BRB.
What a barn burner. I mean, that was a great race. I think we've seen a lot of ups and downs throughout this race, throughout this season. And I think your top 2 in the championship, bringing it home for Maverick Motorsports. A team championship is more than likely what we're looking at for Maverick. This is your top 2 right here. Points-wise, Dustin Stallings, your champion. Brendan Maddox, 2nd. I mean, a walk-off win. An absolute stand-up job for these guys. They did phenomenal to get to where they needed to be.
a victory lap around Las Vegas Motor Speedway for a couple of teammates. Here's some burnouts in the distance. And we said some 70 laps or so ago, Zach, that it was a celebration of just how good Dustin has been here in season number 4. This win puts the icing on that cake. He'll go down as the winningest driver of season 4, 4 wins on the season. He goes down as the champion, of course. Leaves no doubt there, leaves no math to be done. And he'll come around slowly with his teammate and team owner, Brendan Maddox, to celebrate some more here on the front stretch. Had to cool the motor down for some more burnouts, I guess. And Stallings will continue to celebrate. You don't need that car anymore, not where we're going. Going to the ARCA car in season number 5. Don't need these next gens anymore. Tear it up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the unofficial race results here, Zach. And boy, it is going to be an interesting one for sure. That is the one thing I know. In all of this, these results are going to be interesting to look at because Dustin Stallings, of course, wins, but Scott Fritz in second. That makes a bit of sense with his stage 2 win and how good he was tonight. Just if you look at the race with 10 laps to go and you look at the overall results here, boy, what a difference. The only constant is Stallings in first. Carl Pooler finishes third, Braxton Skinner fourth, Coulter Clark your top 5. Obviously great nights for some of these guys, for Skinner and Clark especially, to finish top 5. That's huge for them. For Carl as well. And then for Zach King, to go out with a bang here, a top 10 for Zach is huge. I know that's going to be everything he wanted to close out this portion of his BRB career. Zach Brandvold to top 7, the second chase driver in these results. That's going to be big for him. Cole Lewis at top 10 is big. He outlasted there at the end. Gray Walker came home with a top 10. Christian Barnes even recovers to a top 10, Zach.
Absolutely. A lot of great stories in the top 10. Not so great stories outside the top 10. Joshua Parent ends up 11th after that final restart. Sam Dyer ends up 12th, though. He had some solid recoveries. Cameron Carden, Whiplash Racing driver, teammate to Joshua Parent, ends up in that 13th spot with Cameron Gilmore ending up in the 14th spot after all was said and done from that head-on collision. Brendan Maddox ends up 15th with Evan Patinko, the first car 1 lap down, but 4 laps down overall. He ends up in the 16th position. Johnny Wood Jr., 108 laps down in the 17th position, followed by Dan Stoccaro, Jared Hughes, and Adam Buzzio right behind him.
And down in the 21st spot, you'll find Matthew Selby, 119 down. All of these guys out of the race early. Richard Wolfsburg, Ronnie Osmer, terrible way to finish up their season. That crash in 3 and 4. Unfortunately, will end season 4 for each of them after contact with Brendan Maddox. Braden Van Wingerden, 24th, had that issue early. Stephen Borbell, even earlier than that, 25th spot, and Gavin Rogers did not make the start. Wasn't here to race tonight, just to help admin, but is technically credited there on the graphic with 26th. Let's bring in not only the race winner of the Buttkicker 250, but the champion here in Season 4. Dustin, it's felt like it for a while, and now you confirm it. You leave no math to be done. You are the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series Season 4 champion. You follow in your teammate and now part owner's footsteps. Mason Houseman won the last 2. You keep it in the house of Maverick. You get it done here in Season 4. How does this feel?
To be honest, it's hard to believe it right now, but I mean, it feels awesome. And with having Mason come on board with us last season and just learning from him throughout his dominance, I think that has helped us, especially me, as a group. And I'm kind of like a loss for words. I can't believe it, dude. And even to just kind of finish it off with, I the strategy I had in stage 3, I didn't think it was going to work.
You pull that strategy, and that, I think, is the story of the night. Taking a swing, taking a chance. You were involved in stuff early. You nursed the damage, repaired it as much as you could. Caution after caution, we kept checking in. You were going a lap down, taking those repairs. This race, in a vacuum, has to be one heck of a story just for you, and it backs up the last race we had here at Las Vegas, where you won that one as well. I mean, everything is just a swan song story for you. I could go on and on about how many storylines, how many things aligned for you. How sad are you to see the next gen car go? I mean, I feel like you're the top guy right now in this car, and now we're changing everything. I mean, can you even back all of this up?
I don't know. I honestly haven't really ran much with the ARCA cars. I've ran maybe 1 or 2 little test sessions with my team, but it's something I definitely have to take some time and get used to, because it drives totally different than these cars. And like the last, I'd probably say 2 seasons, I really started to figure out the next gen, and a part of me is a little upset to kind of see it go. These cars, I mean, a lot of people hate them just because of how much dirty air they produce, and just a number of things. And I think a lot of people, they try to take the approach of driving it like a truck or an Xfinity car or even a Gen 6, and you can't do that. And I don't know, I just figured it out this season, and I think I really started to figure it out toward the last half of last season, which I put way more work into everything this season compared to last season. But yeah, team as a whole has been solid, like from the start. I know Zach and Brendan's had some issues and stuff, and even the guys at Spirit, they had a rough first half of the season, but they turned things around definitely in the late half. And I'm not sure where they finished at as far as in the standings, but proud of everybody. But to go back to your question, that it's going to be interesting to see how guys translate or transfer over from the next gen to the ARCA. And racing should be more fun, I feel like.
Well, hey, one more question for you for the season. What do you have to say to everybody that you just beat tonight? Not just for the win, but for the championship. What do you have to say for them, your competition heading into season 5?
Honestly, I would say patience is a big thing to have. Just throughout this whole season, it's been a lot of the same stuff week in and week out, but the later half, it kind of got better. But with the next gens, you got to be aggressive at certain tracks because of dirty air. Track position's huge, but in a sense, there's kind of a certain time and kind of position when you should kind of push the envelope. But it's just had fun with everybody. I know Ronnie, he put up a great fight. Didn't really see exactly what ended his night tonight, but I would say he didn't make it easy on me, because Chicago and then Talladega really put a dent in my kind of gap that I had going into those 2 weeks. But yeah, just proud of everybody that stuck out, that wasn't in the chase. Usually a lot of people kind of just fade out and just trickle out and never see him again. But big shout out to those guys that stuck it out with us. Shout out to my teammates with Maverick. A huge shout out to Mason. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have been able to put such a great performance together this season, and also Brendan as well. He's really stepped up his game. Shout out to guys at Spirit. Super proud of them. And can't wait to see what the guys that's going to be in the Contender Series next season. It's going to be fun to watch them, and just I can't really think of anything else to say, man. Just a loss for words.
Well, Dustin, congratulations. Thanks so much for your time here at the end of the night. I know it was a long one. Congratulations once again. You're the champion here in Season 4. Go celebrate.
Appreciate it, man. Also, I forgot, shout out to the admins and all our sponsors and partners, especially you guys in the broadcast. It's been great having you guys with us. Y'all's work is phenomenal. Just overall, shout out to everybody. We have a good group of guys. There's just small stuff that needs to be fixed and improved on. But yeah, other than that, it's time to go celebrate. I hope the show was great for you guys in the booth.
That it was. Dustin Stallings, 33 laps led tonight, en route to victory and a championship. We'll move him back down and let him celebrate this evening. Congratulations once again to Dustin and Maverick, but here we go. Second place, that's going to be Scott Fritz tonight, Zach. A great way for him to cap this season off.
And I'm sure Scott Fritz was looking for maybe one position better, considering leading a race high 87 laps on the night. Scott, you did an absolute stand-up job to put that car in a position that you could potentially win the race. As the fuel run and the green flag stops went on, you seemed to fall back. Those late race yellows brought you back into the mix. What are your takeaways coming out of here with a second place finish?
Yeah, it just kind of shows that how big clean air is here. Dustin pitted about 11 laps before me and Joshua did and got the lead, and we just kind of stalled out. Once you kind of got within a second or so of them, you just stall out and kind of can't go anywhere, and then you're just killing your right front and getting tight after that. So I honestly like to see that caution. Then it just kind of is a little reset, and then you're all on the same tires, and it's just one last shot at it. But happy to come home second. It's just finally we're able to finish one of these deals. We've led the most laps in 4 or 5 of the races this year, and just finish hasn't showed it. But excited for next season with the ARCA cars. It's good momentum, so ready to move on.
Absolutely. And moving into next season, I think that would probably be my final question for you on the night. What are your thoughts switching from this next-gen race car that has been, from what a lot of people say, a big takeaway from what a stock car is, to something that's more attuned to classic stock car racing with that ARCA car, that Gen 6 body? How do you think your driving style and overall raceability is going to be affected with the switch to the ARCA car?
I think just with the dirt background, it's gonna play more into my hand. I was really, really good when the Gen 6 car was on here, and the Xfinity car is probably my best car, and they both kind of drive off the right rear and are pretty free, and the ARCA car is kind of that way too. So I think if everything goes well next season, it'll be a pretty good time, and hopefully we can compete for a championship next season.
Well, you did a stand-up job tonight. You did a phenomenal race, or drove a phenomenal race. You had a phenomenal season as well. Congratulations on that second place finish. We're looking forward to seeing you once again here in the BRB series, BRB Sundance series. It's soon to be going into next season with the ARCA car. Congratulations on the second place finish.
Yeah, thank you, Zach.
That's Scott Fritz, your second place finisher on the night, Andrew. And then we have got Carl Pooler to talk to a third place finish on the night for the 71 car.
4 laps led, even started 22nd, fought his way forward. Carl, we talked to you pre-race. It was not a good qualifying effort, but then things started to align. You stayed out, got yourself to the front end of the field, and you just kind of stayed around that top 10 area the rest of the night, it seemed like. Sum up your race here.
Oh, man, so, if you've been around, I'm not good at qualifying. I'm just really not good at qualifying. But I am good at the long run, I feel, and I was able to show it tonight. Use a little bit of strategy, got that track position like I needed, made a couple of mistakes. I hit the wall out of 4, like I said not to do, when we first met during the pre-race, and got about 40 seconds of damage. got that fixed up and repaired. And then after that, it was really just taking care of the tires and not overdriving it. This track is so easy to overdrive, so easy to dive bomb into the corners. But man, that just destroys your tires. It's so bad for the tires. And being able to save those tires, especially during that long run to start the third stage, was definitely key. Love being able to come out with a podium finish on Limitless's last race as an organization. I have some feels. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have some feels.
I was gonna ask, last race with Limitless, they were there at first for a while with you, and Richard led a bunch of laps. Johnny was up there. Obviously, not the way the organization wanted things to go, but you still come out close to on top. That's got to feel pretty good to end things on the right way, at least for your program.
Oh, definitely. It's been a struggle these past couple seasons. I had a glimpse of I started the chase really hot, and knew I had the speed going into the end of the season, but Las Vegas was tough. I feel like I fought for this one. I don't think I lucked into it. That caution, I was already going to fight for that podium spot with Scott Fritz and Cameron Gilmore there. We were already kind of under a blanket, so I was already planning my move, making my move. That caution came out, and I knew I was in that spot where if I take 2 tires, I'll be the furthest car back on 2 tires, but if I take 4 tires, I'll most likely be one of the higher up on 4 tires. So I took the 4-tire strategy and ended up being able to capitalize. But yeah, Richard had a really good start to the night, but had a issue early on that ended his race. Johnny, it was late for him. He had to go and do something, so he had to bail out early. I know he had speed up there, so it sucks to see them go so early, but love to have them. Got to thank the admins. They put on such a good show. I know Rev has a tough job there up in race control, but he's done such a good job, and all the drivers that have stuck it out. We definitely had to turn it around mid-season, but everyone stuck it out, and we actually ended up having a really solid chase. And I want to give a shout out to everyone who raced tonight and through the chase. Good job, guys, and I cannot wait for the ARCA cars in Season 5.
Well, Carl, thanks for your time. Of course, pre-race, now post-race. Congratulations on ending things on a really high note here in Season 4, and I'm glad I beat you in fantasy football because, I don't know. I don't really know how I was going to tie that in. I just wanted to rub it in a little bit.
7 points, Andrew. 7 points. But it's going to come around in the playoffs. I'll see you again.
Sounds good. Carl Pooler looking for the playoffs and not just the BRB Sundance Pro Series moving forward, but also in fantasy football. Carl, we'll see you later. Congratulations on third place here tonight. And Carl Pooler gets things done in really big ways, Zach. I got to say, great way for him to end the season and end his tenure with Limitless Esports and that organization with Richard Wolsifer and company. That is a great way for him to go out nearly on top.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a phenomenal way to end his tenure, a phenomenal way to end the season, and what a season it's been, Andrew. From the highs and the lows, from the time that we took off for the summer shootout, you took a little more time than I did, though. and all of the great races that we had here with the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, soon to be the BRB Sundance Cup Series, the Pro Series, it shall be dubbed, and a look forward, a look ahead at the season to come. This is the Season 5 schedule from Daytona, the High Banks of Daytona, to Nashville Superspeedway, rolling into Richmond right after. Long Beach, the road course, the road course that throws a hole into everything because they love to pick out these weird, awkward style road courses that these cars don't usually go to, and Long Beach is a phenomenal racetrack. Great to see these ARCA cars potentially try to go on something like that. Bring them over to Charlotte, North Wilkesboro, Chicagoland, Pocono, and California to cap off your first half of the season. And I'll let Andrew roll into that second half as we wrap up here.
after 3 straight intermediates at Chicagoland, Pocono, California. It'll be 3 more at Las Vegas, Kentucky, and Darlington. Atlanta, the new super speedway, will cap off the regular season. We go back to an intermediate at Michigan, a road course at Watkins Glen, a super speedway at Talladega, a short track intermediate hybrid at Phoenix, and then that intermediate of Miami. That Speedway is going to cap things off next season on March the 3rd. We'll, of course, talk more about the new season schedule when we unload at Daytona for the MX Raps pre-race show on October 14th and kick off the new BRB Sundance Pro Series, a new era here in the BRB Racing League. Congratulations once again to Dustin Stallings winning the championship here in season number 4 and the race here in the Buttkicker 250. To look back on this race, that lucky performance, lucky break of the day certainly still has to go to Zach King. Nearly caught up in a crash out of turn 4. Absolutely, it will have to go to car 51. He makes it through and finishes 6th here tonight. And the North American Racing League Driver of the Day vote, that is going to go the way of Cameron Gilmore in car number 10. Not the finish he was looking for, but boy, what it could have been for the I guy in his final full-time race here in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Was nearly a top 3 or better for Cameron Gilmore. That said, Zach, as we look forward, we can look forward to what's coming up next here for Pit Stop TV. We haven't broken this graphic out just yet. Let's go ahead and do so here in a second because we have a bit of a surprise. This broadcast materialized in the last few days. Let's take a look at it. The Majors Endurance Championship goes to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta this weekend. We have 2 really big road races this weekend, midday. Going to be great racing. The Majors Endurance Championship at Road Atlanta for the 24-ish hours. It's not a 24-hour race. It's actually a 6-hour race. You can still enter. Contact us at Pit Stop TV for more information on how to get involved and race in a GTP, an LMP2, or a GT3 this weekend. Looking for duos, looking for trios to run that race. Going to be a lot of fun with Sued Speed on board. It is going to be a fantastic time out at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. I'm looking very much forward to that, as well as the North American Racing League Sunday Cash Series finale this weekend on Sunday, September 21st. A weekend of road racing. That's coming up for us here at Pit Stop TV. And then next week, we keep it simple. Late models, Martinsville. It's the Impel Motorsports National Tour for the Sim Auto Racing Association. Zach, a lot of great racing coming up in the next week or so.
Absolutely, plenty of places to follow along with all the great racing coming up here on Pit Stop TV. You can follow the website, pitstoptv.com, and all the great social links, facebook.com/pitstoptv, instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, tiktok.com/pit_stop_TV, no, tiktok.com/pitstoptv1, twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, youtube.com/pitstoptv1, and x.com/pitstoptv_. And with the Impel Motorsports National Tour heading to Martinsville, Andrew, that's a great precursor for the fact that you are going to be at the actual Valley Star Credit Union 300, which is what that race replicates and emulates here on the iRacing.com sim. You're going to be on a camera op, so not really any different from what you do on Pit Stop TV, but also a really great opportunity that I know you're excited for, and I'm excited for all the stuff coming up here on Pit Stop TV.
I'm not just going to Martinsville, though. I'll also be at Kingsport later this week, Thursday and Friday. That's going to be a new track for me. Haven't been to a new track for me in a while, so that'll be cool to cross that one off the list later this week. It is a busy week ahead for sure. Kingsport Thursday, Friday, those couple of broadcasts we showed you on Saturday and Sunday. Going to be a lot of fun. Couldn't do it without the Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Idealese, Sundance Pizza, Performance Food Group, and MXWraps.com. And, of course, our partners here at the channel, Whiplash Simcams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody, Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. Final words from you here, Zach, season number 4.
What a way to cap it off. What a season we experience, and truly, I can't wait for season 5. I can't wait to see how these guys turn it up, turn it out, and turn loose in those ARCA racing machines at the high banks of Daytona. I think there's a lot of great tracks on the schedule for this ARCA car. It's going to be an interesting move. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers with different driving styles have a better time with learning these cars. I think there's going to be a learning curve with a few other drivers. There's going to be some drivers that are going to be standouts. You're going to see a mix of things that you saw this season and more, and I'm looking forward to it.
That'll do it for us this evening from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you all on the flip side next season of the BRB Sundance Pro Series. It all gets started October 14th. We'll see you at Daytona. Until then, we'll see you this weekend for the Majors Endurance Championship, 24-ish hours of road Atlanta. Until then, have a great night. Thanks for watching Pit Stop TV.